Seek the truth. Interest-free plus I'm not for you. Both and are gone, what did they do? Repackage the debt, derivative change, 98% loss to financial gain. Look it up yourself, don't take my word. Networks of finance loans transferred. Usury prohibited within their home. While your mortgage bleeds you to the bone. Be a currency, made up that central bank. The system said, Christian, call us in. Power jolly, can't forget. Financial collapse, here's the proof. Second order derivatives climb while the dollar dies over time. These are facts.
Welcome back, Danksters. It is your boy, the original American-only Dankster, besides the rest of you Danksters and Dankettes. It's a pleasure to have you. Welcome back, and we are going to be talking about something very interesting today. I've been working on putting together something cohesive that really displays the history of how we got to the Iran war, but also how the investigations that I've done on Turning Point USA, the financial situations, but not only that, more often I'm noticing this surveillance apparatus building throughout the world. And I've been watching different channels. There's one specific, Predictive History, an Asian guy, Professor Lang, doing a great job laying things out and really made me rethink about how to approach this. But it's very important that you understand how we got to all of this war situation with Iran. And actually, interestingly enough, there is history that actually explains beforehand how and what is going to happen in order to get us to this point. So that's kind of, if you saw episode 2 yesterday or episode 1, you are fully filled in. You'll be able to watch this one and then go back. And also tonight, if you can't stick for the whole thing, I will be doing recurringly after my live streams at the evening time. I will be putting from every live stream here out a shorter video that has all the highlights or the most important parts. So that will also be for the audience that can't stick around for the whole thing or just doesn't have the time or just wants the clips for what has been discussed during today's lives and the rest moving forward. So that being said, before I say a single word, I want to talk about in January of, I just shaved, so hopefully I'm not bleeding. I didn't even look in the mirror. In January of 1991, the United States Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, if you've seen that acronym, I might actually change my headphones, to be honest, because these are kind of bothering me. Give me 1 second. I'll continue talking while I do that. But the DIA produced a classified document that eventually became unclassified. Give me, I'm going to switch. Hold on 1 second. It's a little hot in here. So let's see if I can do that. There we go. Okay. Should be good there. All right. So thanks for joining again. Now, that document analyzed step by step how the destruction of Iraq's water treatment plants combined with sanctions blocking the import of chlorine and replacement parts would cause epidemics of waterborne diseases among the Iraqi civilian population. It projected mass mortality. It projected child deaths, multiple different types, ages of deaths, but specifically child deaths. And then the United States destroyed Iraq's water treatment of their infrastructure, whatever maintenance they had. And then they created sanctions for over a decade. And UNICEF estimated hundreds of thousands of children under 5 died as this direct result. UNICEF, this is something, it's UNI. I'll put it in the chat if you want to check it out. And I will try to produce a document in a little bit as we get through. But we'll get there. But and I did preload a bunch of stuff for most of this, so you won't be waiting for me to look for a lot of the things here. So we'll be more fluid as I'm getting more into the style of how I'm going to be moving forward with this channel on live streams. But anyways, that document was declassified. The UNICEF and whatever happened through the DIA and all this was declassified through the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. And it was requested by Professor Thomas Nagy at George Washington University, and it was published in the Progressive magazine in September of 2001, just days before 9/11 buried that story. So today I'm going to show you that, but this is not why you should stay. You should really stay because I'm going to connect every single investigation that I've been pulling on this channel for the last few months to what is happening in Iran right now. FARA filings, insider self-payments, dealer contract patents with Lori Franzvi, geofencing churches, every oversight mechanism that has been dismantled, like FARA with Pam Bondi. And it was all building, now I'm seeing, towards this. The war is the product, and everything else really seems to me to be the assembly line. So welcome to the Dankster Debrief on the 5th of March, Thursday, 2026. And again, if you're new here, welcome. Hit that like and the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell and set it to all, because my content has been getting throttled when I talk about this stuff. Many of you have even said it in the comments, as you've noticed. And I need you to know when I go live. If you want to go deeper, you can join the Discord, patreon.com/originaldankster for just $5, or become a member here and get members only live streams every Friday for just 99 cents to help show your support and get some more insight on how I think and operate as a team. We can work together. Now, what I need you to understand before we start is that for the last few months with TPUSA, I've shown you upwards of $20 million in insider payments flowing through TPUSA's network. I've shown you defense contractors' daughter running a conservative nonprofit empire. I've shown you after the death of her husband without any grief that is appearing before us. Not just her, but the entire apparatus of TPUSA and all the friends of Charlie Kirk. I've shown you FARA documents and registered foreign agents of foreign governments, geofencing Americans, evangelical churches, and to manufacture political support and also feed the bias of a particular country. I've shown you the Attorney General of today, Pam Bondi, who has been registered as a foreign agent for the country of Qatar, taking in through Ballard Partners, I believe it was called, $115,000 a month. And she was listed zero conflicts of interest on her Senate questionnaire, to what I can see. And she also dismantled the oversight or the actual punishment, or whatever you might want to call it, when it's regarding to the Foreign Influence Task Force. And that was on day one. Pam Bondi dismantled the Foreign Influence Task Force. Now, a lot of people ask me, how can she just take away FARA? She didn't take away FARA. What she did was she dismantled the ability or the team to reinforce FARA. And a lot of you ask, why does this matter? Where are you going with all of this, Stanks? Well, I'm going to show you where it leads, because the work they just started here is, I think, where it's leading to. And there's things like Pax Judeaica and water and desalinization, and we're gonna get to all of that. And everything that I talk about is I'm gonna do my best to show the receipts, okay? Because I'm a receipts motivated person and I bring the facts, right? So you said, this is hilarious. I'm grieving so hard right now. Anyone have some glitter? I need some glitter. I don't have any pyrotechnics, but that's all I got. I don't know. So anyways, look, I bring receipts. That's what's led you here from the beginning. All right. And that's what's kept you here. That's what's got 150 people here on YouTube, hundreds more that will watch throughout, and thousands, hopefully, to get this message out. But receipts, you have to understand, do not have a religion. They do not have a race. They do not have a political party. I am an Iranian American, American first. I see myself as American with Iranian heritage. I am not anti anything except lies. I'm anti lies, deceit, destruction, untruth, whatever you want to call it. I'm receipts over narrative, truth over drama. So that's always, and that's what you're going to get. Now, sometimes the algorithm wants me to feed into the beat down Erica Kirk while she's down. And maybe occasionally that content will keep my channel growing. But I think the more high Q outfit content is what you are all here for. And that's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it. And for those who are new, let me get you up to speed over the next few minutes. And for those of you who have already been here, this is a nice refresher. So you're going to see why every single one of these threads matters more than you really thought. So let's talk about the Turning Point USA Financial Network. I have personally documented approximately 19.6 million, if not more, of insider connected payments flowing through Turning Point USA's entities network. We've got Jake Hoffman's companies receiving over $7 million. He's an indicted fake elector federally. He was dismissed and he's now facing state charges in Arizona as a fake elector. And he's also a Facebook banned troll farm operator. Stacey Sheridan's entities received over $9 million, $5 to $10 million in vendor payments while she's working for TPUSA. The GGLF life insurance company carried a $350,000 premium on an estimated $24 million policy, which was dissolved in July in 2025, mysteriously reinstated at midnight on December, just a few days before a 90-day period would end up completing this is when you can report a death for insurance thing on life insurance. You have Justin Olson serving as a CFO for a $100 million, now potentially $1 billion corporation without a CPA license, managing an $80 million budget. Baker Tilly, the auditor, with an 83% PCAOB failure rate and a $500,000 fine. Just in the short scheme of things, there's been tens of millions in China, and there's been other things with the same Baker Tilly auditor of TPUSA. And it makes me wonder, did they pick Baker Tilly because they knew that, maybe they wouldn't be looked into so heavily? That's up for debate. Charlie Kirk was assassinated September 10th, 2025. And his wife, Erica, now is named CEO of Turning Point USA. And they've been sending cease and desist letters to investigators like Wolves in Finance and Candace Owens. The Streisand effect is alive and well because those letters confirmed rather than refuted the allegations. The defense contractor's daughter, who is Erica Kirk, the daughter of Lori Fronsvie. Fronsvie holds a patent for critical vulnerabilities that has expired. I've talked about this on this channel. There's reasons for why I believe that patent is not just expired, but anyways, it was titled Methodology for Assessing Critical Vulnerability of Defense Industrial Sites. Her companies, AZ Tech, G Tech, E3 Tech, IMET, claimed contracts with the DoD, the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, GSA, DOE. That is on their own E3 Tech website. She testified in the Arizona legislature on EMP and infrastructure threats. The SB 1476 passed after her testimony, or they're working through lots of different things on that behalf. So there's a lot here, right? There's a lot of things that I'm going to go through. But again, she also sits on the same board of Tyler Boyer's company, Superfeed Technologies, as we all know who Tyler Boyer is. Now, the surveillance infrastructure, Superfeed Technologies outsourced its voter mobilization app development to a company called N-Cube Limited in Kiev, Ukraine. Those apps tracked, just from what they've said publicly, out of 3 people's mouths, not naming the company, but saying, we've tracked 277,000 people at Charlie Kirk's memorial service. Superfeed's Arizona business license was revoked actually in 2021 through 2022 while they continued to operate. The Sky Foundry Act, Senate Bill 2506, creates domestic drone manufacturing infrastructure with a government purpose rights provision over the intellectual property. 1 million drones per year production capacity is what they're looking to shoot for if this bill goes all the way through, and it looks like it's going to. The Make Heaven Crowded Tour launched January in 2026. The same day, the FCC issued a drone waiver that day of allowing drones to operate within over a civilian population to collect data, if I'm not mistaken. Now, they've also simplified group tax exemptions for religious subordinate organizations in that. And we also have the FARA pipeline that I've documented. I have a website discussing that, which I could show now, just in case you haven't seen it before. It is this one right here. The main site is AmericansForTransparency.org. And then we have the FARA compliance section, and we could look at all of that. I mean, I have 329 documents or more, give or take. I've added some, taken some out, but mostly added. And it's all labeled here, right? You have Havas Media Germany Company through Clock Tower X LLC, connected to Brad Parscale, who worked for Donald Trump, who worked with Charlie Kirk. You've got Show Faith by Works. I mean, we can look right in here and see Show Faith by Works. Like, this is the graph here shows the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Boston. You've got the Havas Media Group on both sides, one Germany, one US, but they operate in tandem. And then you've got the LDRS Group from Tel Aviv Limited. And then this is how it goes. The money comes from here. What's interesting is the money comes from us to the government, to Boston. Then it comes back into these intermediary companies that then convey it out or send it out to companies like Show Faith by Works, which they're sending this money into America to basically influence American churches through geofencing operations. And they all work with a specific purpose, right? Like, for example, Davis Media is doing, Boston PR regarding hostage awareness campaigns. Bridges Partners does the Esther Project, recruiting Christian influencers. The Boston Allies Foundation is an advocacy and outreach program. They all have their place, okay? Legal representation for the government entities for the filings. Canary Mission, okay? We've got, the list goes on. You should check out the site. Legal and lobbying services for the interest of Boston. And these are all documented with FARA documents straight to the website on the government page, okay? So, again, tried and true, documented, all right? And Pam Bondi, registered foreign agent of Qatar, $115,000 a month from Ballard Partners. Through Ballard Partners is what the reception was. Her Senate questionnaire listed 0 conflicts of interest that I could find, and I would imagine that would be required in order to take a position like Attorney General. On day one, like I said in the beginning of this, she dismantled the DOJ Foreign Task Force and issued a memo limiting FARA criminal enforcement to traditional espionage only. Who the hell would do that? So you're opening the floodgates for foreign governments, all of them, to come in and cause propaganda machinery, all manipulating your AI so that they can feed bias through your chat GPT. I mean, there's no limitation to what they're willing to do. And this right here, especially being a person who is in the FARA filings, is just mind-boggling to me. But dismantling the criminal enforcement, then her DOJ approved a $400 million plane gift from Qatar to become a presidential asset, even though receiving gifts from a foreign country as a president is illegal and it's unconstitutional. Okay. And if you've been following this investigation for months, drop receipts in the chat. Let me know in the chat, put receipts, or I've been here, or just say something. Let me know how many of you have been following all of this that you already know from this brief. Okay. Tell me if you have. I'm here, I'm a dankster, whatever, a dankette. Let me know in the chat. Now, and if this is your first time here and your mind is already blown, which I can see that maybe some of you might be, let me know in the chat how you're feeling and say first time with what you think about what I just said. Now, all of that, every bit of it leads to what happened on February 28th when the bombs started falling on Iran. Excuse me. So, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Okay. This is my thesis. So the thesis of today's stream, and basically it's going to reframe everything I've shown you for the last few months. And the Iran war is not a separate story. I'm a blanket. Dankette doesn't work out well, right? When you're trying to auto type it. Welcome. Good to see. Didn't know about Bondi. Well, I've got a whole video on it. You can go to my channel on the videos and my live stream because I've done both, and go look for her face on my thumbnails and you'll be able to see all of that. Now, the Iran war is not a separate story from Turning Point USA and that investigation. It is not a departure from me talking about that to this. I've been looking at the signs, the signal, and putting it all together so I can convey it. But I had to put certain things in order for you to understand where I was going. And I'm thinking I'm able to do that right now. So that's where we're going to head today. The Iran war is not me switching topics because the world is on fire. The Iran war is actually, in my opinion, where every single one of those investigation threads converges. And I'm going to show you. Now, there's the bridge one is really the FARA pipeline, the consent factory, if you will. The churches produce the voter base. Okay. Now that I've given you the intro, you should have some idea of what we're discussing here. The churches that are being geofenced, they produce the voter base. The voter base elects the politicians. Okay. You've got people every Sunday going out, being active, talking with the community. People in church are in politics. They're in the community. They're trying to make a difference. They're outreaching, okay? Politicians take the donor money. Miriam Adelson donated $100 million to the Preserve America PAC, supporting Trump's 2024 campaign, okay? Her late husband, Sheldon Adelson, said on camera at the yeshiva, actually, maybe I'll just let you see it. Here, you can just watch it. Let me fix my screen here a little bit. Actually, I'll go this way. Okay, I can pull this up. Here we go. All right, so let's see what this guy has to say.
I think it's the worst negotiating ploy tactic anybody could imagine.
Right, so you would support negotiations with Iran currently so long as they first seized all enrichment of uranium?
No. What do you
I know
mean?
it's low.
What are we going to negotiate about? What I would say is, listen, you see that desert out there? I want to show you something. So you pick up your cell phone, even at traveling rates. You pick up your cell phone, and what are they called?
Roaming charges.
Roaming charges. You pick up your cell phone and you call somewhere in Nebraska and you say, okay, let it go. So there's an atomic weapon goes over ballistic missiles in the middle of the desert that doesn't hurt a soul. Maybe a couple of rattlesnakes and scorpions or whatever. And then you, and
Did
then
they
you
say a nuclear weapon?
the next rattlesnake, the middle of the desert. So there's an atomic weapon goes over ballistic missiles in the middle of the desert that doesn't hurt a soul.
Okay, that
Maybe a
makes
couple
sense.
of rattlesnakes and scorpions or whatever. And then you say, see, the next one is in the middle of Tehran. So we mean business. You want to be wiped out? Go ahead and take a tough position and continue with your nuclear development. You want to be peaceful? You want to be peaceful? Just reverse it all.
This video is from 12 years ago.
And we will guarantee you that you can have a nuclear power plant for electricity purposes. Friend,
So a tremendous demonstration of American strength so that they would get the
the
message.
only thing they understand.
And do you see the current negotiations as a demonstration of weakness?
Absolutely.
Okay, Brett.
Well, I was just going to say that the advice that
First of all, do you agree with what Sheldon said?
98%.
Is this payback for what he said about your column?
So they agree, and Sheldon himself has said what you just heard, that they should drop a nuclear weapon and atomic bomb in the middle of the desert. No soul will get hurt. Are you crazy? What would be the point of that? Why would you drop a nuclear weapon in the middle of nowhere? Why would you waste hundreds, if not billions of dollars? Okay. That makes no sense. Obviously, he just doesn't want to say it. Okay. But this video is on YouTube right now. Okay. Dropping a nuclear weapon on Iran. That was a decade ago plus. That video, I mean, like I said, it's on YouTube. Go, you can see it. It's just crazy to me, these people, man. So the Adelson family newspaper, which is it's called Boston Hayom, is the most widely circulated newspaper in Boston, and it consistently promotes aggressive Iranian policy. And I'll show you actually the packs here. You can see I pulled them up. We can look at them here. So this is the Preserve America pack. Let me see what this one says. One of them only had a few dollars as of recent. This one doesn't show anything, but the other one recently had taken in $500,000, it looks like. This was just those dates. So this is showing 2020, 2022, but this is just that time period, right? But they are PACs. And this is also, by the way, it's an unauthorized super PAC, independent expenditure only. All right. Here's another page right here showing the membership disbursements. Okay. The list, Emily's list, 16 million. All right. American Boston Public Affairs Committee, political action, 7 million. American Association for Justice, political action, 1.5 million. Okay. These are different types of PACs, and this PAC falls in. Look at the top one right here. As of 2023 on this table is 7 million. If we go back, let's see, what is this? It looks like it's dated. I mean, you could even look at APAC. This is the Federal Election Commission. And then you've got even APAC corruption, Citizens Against. And so you can check this site out. It's FEC.gov. I can give you the link here if you want to check it out. But this is the Preserve America PAC link if you want to look around in there, and there's all these different things you can review. But the donors fund the think tanks. Okay, I don't know how much thinking goes on in think tanks, but they fund these think tanks, okay? The clean break document, which we discussed yesterday, which I'll pull up right here, was written in 1996, and it called for the regime change across the entire Middle East, including Iran, okay? It literally explains phase by phase and they also came out with a document through the PNAC explaining more in detail about how all of this is going to unfold. I probably should pull up that as well. If I look in my history, I didn't pull that up. I didn't plan on it, but we can look at PNAC. And let's see, reform. Let's see, America. I think it was yesterday. Rebuilding America's Defenses, right here. So if we look right here, this book is about the project for the new American century. So a year later, after Clean Break was created, which is a policy document prepared for Benjamin Netanyahu himself, okay, explained a new approach to solving Boston's problems for security in the Middle East. All right. The report explains the entire way to emphasize Western values in the Middle East, and it has been since criticized for advocating aggressive policy like removing Saddam Hussein from power in Iraq. But before that, the West was using Saddam Hussein and putting money behind him to attack Iran, which didn't work out very well. That's one thing why, and I'll show you a video later, Professor Lang from Predictive History, he thinks that Iran will win this war. And it's in different ways, but he does. And I'll show you what he says on that. But after that, they produced this document, and I'll just read the beginning here. Established in 1997, the Project for the New American Century is a nonprofit. They're all nonprofits, aren't they? Educational organization whose goal is to promote American global leadership. American global leadership. Think about those words, just those words. Educational organization whose goal is to promote American global leadership. The project is the initiative of the New Citizenship Project. As the 20th century draws to a close, the United States stands as the world's most preeminent power. Having led the West to victory in the Cold War, America faces an opportunity and a challenge. Does the United States have the vision to build upon the achievement of past decades? Does the United States have the resolve to shape a new century favorable to American principles and interests? What we require is a military that is strong and ready to meet both present and future challenges, a foreign policy that boldly and purposefully promotes American principles abroad, and a foreign policy that boldly, purposefully promotes American principles abroad. Do you not see a problem with that? Why would we force American principles abroad? Why? That is, and then it says, and a national leadership that accepts the United States global responsibilities. Of course, the United States must be prudent in how it exercises its power, but we cannot safely avoid the responsibilities of global leadership of the costs that are associated with this exercise. America has a vital role in maintaining peace and security in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. If we shirk our responsibilities, we invite challenges to our fundamental interests. The history of the 20th century should have taught us that it is important to shape circumstances before crises emerge and to meet threats before they become dire. The history of the past century should have taught us to embrace the cause of American leadership from the project's founding statement of principles. This was created in Washington, D.C. Okay? Rebuilding America's defenses, strategy, forces, and resources for a new century. I would love it if all of you went and checked it out. I will pin it in the chat. I think this is important. I did it yesterday. I'll do it again. America's defenses, New World Order Guide. That's how I see it. All right. I put it pinned in the chat. Okay. This is it. Rebuilding America's defenses. To me, it's a New World Guide. All right. Now, this with Clean Break is the combo killer. Okay. It's just crazy to see, right? And you can go and read them right now as I've given you the link. Okay. Let me take this banner off. So Again, all of these things have a purpose. All right. The FARA pipeline I documented is the consent manufacturing operation for a war that was planned on paper 30 years ago. The geofencing targeting of churches. The churches produce the political base. The base supports the politicians execute the plan. And Bondi dismantled the only federal mechanism that was surveilling it, watching it, governing it. This is not a theory. This is a documented chain with proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the surveillance state, basically being the war technology, is really the second bridge here. Yesterday, I went on for like a couple minutes on mute, so I'm trying to be careful with how I mute. Now look, let me pull this up. Google bought this company called Wiz. Okay, let's pull this up. What can I do on Reuters? Are they going to throw something in my face to buy something here? Maybe. Okay. Google paid $32 billion, which is a mind-boggling amount of money, for a Boston cybersecurity technology company founded by Unit 8200 alumni. Unit 8200 is the Boston intelligence unit that co-developed the Stuxnet with the NSA. David Sanger confirmed that at the New York Times in 2012. The program was codenamed Olympic Games, and the same intelligence unit that built the cyber weapon to physically destroy Iranian nuclear centrifuges produces the alumni who run cybersecurity companies embedded in American critical infrastructure. Now, James Lee actually has an interesting piece on this. I might pull that up because I liked his clip on it. I didn't think to have his because I was just going to talk about it, but I think him explaining it is really, I love his channel, man. I got to tell you, he does a great job and is worth watching. Let me pull this up. And he explains it. I think it was here. Let me find it. See if I can find the exact area, right? Oh, yeah, right here. Here we go. Check this out.
Because everyone is trading with Israel.
Interesting what he's talking about there. He's talking about global financial control, and he's talking about mass surveillance, which I believe plans are already well underway. Okay, last month, we witnessed the largest ever purchase of an Israeli-founded tech company, a cybersecurity unicorn called Wiz, which Google acquired for a staggering $32 billion. We also have reports that this cybersecurity technology is how we were able to plot and kill Iran's supreme leader. And the great Baron Coleman, who at this point is probably Erica Kirk's biggest nemesis, other than maybe Candace.
Shout out to Baron coming around to the surveillance state apparatus that I've already talked about, busted wide the hell open, that I believe TPUSA is rolling out a surveillance state school by school. And they're using their events to host gatherings to gather data from people's phones through geofencing the locations they're hosted at. This is a fact. They've said it. And if you think they're not doing this through every single place that they're at, you're a fool.
Owens made an interesting observation around this hacking of traffic cameras, saying, quote, "It makes you wonder about the nationwide traffic camera infrastructure being installed across our own country, and A, the true purpose of it, and B, who has access to it." It's almost like everybody is working in concert. The powers that be, they're all working together to move this plan forward, which I don't pretend to know the totality of this plan quite yet, but just connecting some of the dots, which here's another dot, a clip of a U.S.-born venture capitalist.
And we're going to get to all of this. I do want to cover a lot of that, but I'm not there yet. So, and like Baron first of all, again, James Lee, as he said, and I've shown you on this on that page, Google have paid $32 billion for Wiz. Okay, it's a cybersecurity company founded by Stuxnet co-developers. Okay, this is the same intelligence system that built cyber weapons to physically destroy Iranian nuclear centrifuges. Okay. These very same people created Wiz, and Google bought Wiz. Okay. To make it simple, Wiz's technology has reportedly been used in the intelligence operation that led to, look again. Okay. Hacked traffic cameras and U.S. intelligence, how a plot to kill Iran's supreme leader came together. So they're literally saying that they used American intelligence through traffic camera lights to kill a supreme leader. Okay. Which means they have the technology deployed in the United States already. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, I haven't verified it yet, but I'm certain that they do have it and they're running it right now. Okay. And Wiz is involved. Barron, as he states here, okay, the observation should bother every single one of you. He literally said it. It makes me wonder, it also makes you wonder about the nationwide traffic camera infrastructure being installed across our own country and the true purpose of it, and B, who has access to it. Okay. Now, connect that to Lori Franzvi's patent on vulnerability assessment for defense industrial sites and what that has developed into over time. Okay. I don't need to show it to you. I've shown it many times. It's a hassle because for some reason it doesn't show on my computer unless I use incognito, and I'm not using that right now, and I have to switch and all this stuff. But you've seen it if you followed this channel. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen me show you the patent. Put a 2 if you actually put a 1 in the chat if you want me to show you the vulnerability patent. If you've seen it already, don't say anything. If there's a lot of people that want me to show it, I will show it. Other than that, we'll keep going. Now, 1. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you guys. Okay. I have it ready already. So let's pull it up. Boom, 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 boom. Here it is. Okay. Let me zoom in, make it a little bigger. Okay. So this is critically vulnerability risk logic analysis methodology for business, enterprise, and cybersecurity. Okay. There's a PDF here. It was Lawrence Gunta and Lori A. Franzvi. How about this? Why don't we open this? And then if I show you also this, we have the same person, Larry R. Gunta, also alongside with the truth finder of Lori Gunta. And then we have the truth finder of Lori Franzvi. Okay. All right. These people are intertwined, and it's her ex-husband or her husband or whatever. Okay. So this is they are intertwined. All right. Lawrence Gunta, Lori Franzvi. All right. Larry Gunta. I mean, this is the tree line. Kent. The whole family is here. Okay. Now I'm going to close that. Oh, I should have shown you. Oh, man, my bad. Hold on. I'll go through the patent again real quick. I got to open another incognito window. My bad. Here. Critical patents. Okay, here we go. Again, so we can kind of go through it here. So method and apparatus for computer-aided assessment of risk, criticality, and vulnerability with respect to a site. The method and apparatus may use multiple factors to determine overall risk. In some embodiments, the method may assess or determine an impact if a site or asset is lost. The method and apparatus may identify and quantify what risks are acceptable and unacceptable. You can't tell me that this isn't exactly what's being used or something like it, okay? Lori Fronsky's patent, in my opinion, whatever it is, it has expired and it's ceased. They have taken this technology and expanded upon it with AI, all right? A method may incorporate mathematical evaluations and numeric assignments that result in a criticality vector and vulnerability vector. The critical vector and vulnerable vector may be used to represent a site's overall risk and prioritization and ranking relative to other sites, okay? And then all the information is here. I can put it in the chat if you want to grab it, take a look. All right, but all this information, since 9/11, the United States government and its associated agencies such as the DoD and DHS have an increased need to assess and determine criticality, vulnerability, and overall risk relating to key sites located throughout the world. These sites are often referred to as facilities or assets, and it goes on. To reduce the burdens associated with these evaluations, surveys are commonly employed to gather information. A problem with surveys, blah, 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 summary, and all this, right? And it explains e-ticket, event, site, asset, threat, vulnerability, criticality, includes but not limited to an electronic certification process that enables a designated site to access an administrative organization system and participate a single time in an assessment event. They can literally go into an organization's infrastructure, like computer. The term computer system is used herein, generally describing the hardware and software components that in combination allow the execution of computer programs. This computer programs may be implemented in software, hardware, or a combination of software and hardware. I mean, this is not something you just let expire unless you have a plan for it, okay? Let me close this and then I will get prepared for the next sharing here. So I can go back. Okay, so that's connecting Lori Fronsky to what I just showed you with Wiz and the camera infrastructure for surveillance. Look, connecting directly to Superfeed, who's outsourcing voter data to Ukrainian developers through the cloud, who's certainly getting hacked, in my opinion, by Russian intelligence because they're building Superfeed and subsidiary applications in the middle of a war zone on gas and diesel run operated generators with American voter data just going over there, people's phone numbers, names, addresses, GPS coordinates. This is borderline criminal here, in my opinion. Okay. Now, connect it to the Sky Foundry Act that I've talked about and government purposing rights. Connect it to the FCC drone waiver issued the same day the Make Heaven Crowded tour launched. The domestic surveillance infrastructure, the war technology, they share the same lineage, same intelligence unit, same technology pipeline, same funding sources, same oversight gaps. I'm not telling you these are the same operation. I am asking you, why is it the same names, the same organizations, the same technology lineage, the same lack of oversight keep showing up throughout every node that I look through? Because I'm the receipts guy and I'm the receipts, and the receipts keep pointing in the same direction. Now, let's talk about the third bridge, Bondi killing the Watchers, okay? The Mujahideen, you've heard of this Mujahideen al-Khaliq or whatever, the MEK. This was designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the State Department in 1997, delisted September 28th of 2012 by Secretary Clinton. During the period when they were still designated, multiple senior U.S. officials, and I can pull this up here. This is the Mujahideen. Here we go. This is the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran. Okay. During the period when they were still designated, multiple senior U.S. officials accepted speaking fees to speak from MEK, the Mujahideen group, affiliated groups. John Bolton took their money, became Trump's national security advisor in 2018, and published an op-ed, I guess that's how you say it, op-ed, in the New York Times in March of 2015. And they titled it, Stop Iran's Bomb, Bomb Iran. Right? Here it is. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran is the name of several parodies of the regions. But yeah. So essentially, I'll repeat it again because it's kind of a mouthful here. So let's go to the top. This organization was designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the State Department in 97. Okay. So terrorist organization from our government. But then in 2012, Secretary Clinton delisted them. And during the period when they were designated still, multiple senior U.S. officials accepted speaking fees from groups related to them. John Bolton took money from the MEK, became Trump's national security advisor, and published an op-ed in the New York Times in March of 2015 titled, To Stop Iran's Bomb, Bomb Iran. See if we can find it, actually. It'd be interesting. Bomb John Bolton. Here it is, the New York Times. To stop Iran's bomb, bomb Iran. So yeah, that's here. Gosh, I hate this. This is so annoying. I'd like to see more of it. Can we, maybe I can find like news. Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Bomb Iran. From the Lowly Institute. Bombing Iran has been spoken of, allegedly planned and threatened for years, but there's no sign it is about to occur. 2018. I mean, New York Times op-ed entitled to stop Iran's bomb, bomb Iran. In other words, bombing Iran has been spoken of, allegedly planned and threatened, but it's never occurred. There are any number of reasons why this is the case, and if it hasn't come to pass previously, it's certainly not going to happen while Tehran is complying with the nuclear agreement, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And they have already come out and said through Oman that they were not going to do anything. And we had already taken out whatever they had for. They don't have any nukes. They don't have any. At least if they did, don't you think blowing up a nuclear facility would create a nuclear reaction? It's so dumb, bro. They think we're stupid. Ay, man. Anyways. If the MEK affiliated organizations are running influence operations today, they are required to register under FARA. If they are not registered, this is a federal crime. And the task force that would investigate it does not exist anymore because Bondi disbanded it on her first day. She also documented I've also documented PJTN, and I think that there's other things that PJTN, which is receiving money. Here, I can show you. PJTN, do you know what company this is? PJTN is the company owned by, let me pull it up. I'll show you exactly who this person is. So PJTN is operated through the interest of a foreign nation. Okay. This page here, let me see if I can find Lori Cardoza Moore. All right. This is the person who contacted Charlie Kirk and threatening him into his peril, warning him he would face peril for platforming Tucker Carlson, and then he died. Okay. This very same person is receiving foreign activity money every single year. It's not just self-dealing. Okay. You can go to my site. I'll put the link, PJTN. I'll put it in the chat if you can catch it. All right. This same person right here. This lady. All right. She works for Israel, bro. She works for them. She has a nonprofit that she takes 27% home to. So all the donations, she takes 30% basically, her and her husband. Okay. PJTN is denied receiving it, but I believe Pam Bondi had even documented it. She also documented PJTN, which is proclaiming justice to the nations, receiving $40,000. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Now I remember. So they were investigated and she denied it, okay, for receiving $40,000 from the Boston Ministry of Strategic Affairs through a front company called Concert. So they were able to deny it because it came through another company, a front, designed to hide foreign government funding. PJTN denied receiving it. The Ford obtained the Israeli government documents through FOIA. PJTN, by the way, is not FARA-registered. They're a nonprofit, and their mission statement, look at all these entities they're connected to. The network pattern, PJTN, TPUSA Faith, Clock Tower X LLC, Show Faith by Works, Bridges Partners LLC, all operate in the same space, mobilizing American evangelical Christians for pro-Boston advocacy. Okay. I wish I had their mission statement up here somewhere. I thought I did. Documents. Let's see. Man, this site is coming handy. Where is it? PJTN. Do I not have them? Oh, yeah. They're not FARA-filed. What am I doing? I'm stupid. Looking for FARA. They're not FARA-filed, which is crazy, bro. Here, I think, is it on the ProPublica? Here, PJTN. PJTN. Nonprofits. Here, it's called Proclaiming. Here, I'll just copy this. This is their, check this out. This is their ProPublica. Okay. The last reported 2024. This is their IRS form. Okay. So if we view filing and we look at their mission statement, this is their mission statement. Okay. Remember who this is, who we're talking about. Okay. The lady that threatened Charlie Kirk. The company, which is a nonprofit that our taxpayers' dollars are going to subsidize for her company, Proclaiming Justice to the Nations, LLC, Incorporated, to promote an understanding, I'm reading this right here, to promote an understanding and or unity within the Christian and Jewish faiths, and to combine education, support, and encouragement to help individuals and groups build strong relationships within the Christian and Jewish communities and with the state of you know who and where and what. This is their mission. Create relationships with Christians to build for the country of Boston. And also, she is on the board for education in Tennessee. And she gets to decide what books that your children see in the state of Tennessee. She's at least a part of it. I forget how much power she has, but she's definitely a big part of it. She's a major player. Do you think that that is who we should be allowing to govern what our children get to read and see and learn about in school? I don't. Especially after that threat came to Charlie Kirk. That was pretty aggressive, if you ask me. Do you see how all of this is starting to tie together? and they're not registered as a foreign agent when they're clearly working on behalf of a foreign government, receiving money from a foreign entity. Okay. This is a federal crime, by the way, that nobody is checking, just so you know. Now, when defense budgets expand, who benefits? It's people like Erica Kirk's mother holding defense contract patents and deals. Her companies claimed, again, DOD and DHS contracts. She sits on the board of a technology company processing voter engagement data. And the war that was planned 30 years ago is now driving defense spending through the roof. Can I get there? Here, let's try this. G-Tech. G3 Tech. How come it's not pulling up now? E3 Tech Group. So you can see. What, did they block me from their site or something? Home. That's not loading now for me. It used to. Maybe it got too much activity. Details timed out. Is my internet okay? My internet looks fine. Strange. Okay. All right. Nobody wants, you don't want people to know, huh? Well, anyways, they specialize in electromagnetic pulse hardening, offering specialized vehicles, towers, and control technology to secure critical infrastructure against cyber attacks. That's Lori Fronsby. So again, defense budgets expand, okay? She sits on the board of this tech company, working with DOD. It's on the website, okay? It's just not there right now, or I can't get to it at least. Trying again, but I can't get on there. It won't let me. All right, anyways, moving on. Follow the money. You follow the contracts. You follow the people. Where is the money going? These filings, they don't have feelings. They have a track. After hearing so far these 4 bridges, do you see Turning Point USA's investigation I've done and the Iran war as separate stories or connected? Let me know in the chat. Put separate or connected. Do you think that the Iran war and what I've been unfolding against the surveillance of TPUSA, the money, the connected entities, do you see them as connected or separate? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to put a poll up, different poll here. We got connected, 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 together, connected. Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? Now it's clear. And I'm tired of nobody talking about this. I had to find a way to put it together. That's why I said the other day, I'm working on something. Okay. I think I can only do 4. Let's do this. Boom. I got this poll here. So after the investigative bridges, oops, is this too long? I wanted to do this poll, and I have it ready. Okay. Mantling, oversight, FARA. I think I can only do these right here. All of the above. Start poll. So the poll is on YouTube. After hearing the investigation bridges, where do you think the most important receipts are? The FARA Church geofencing pipeline, the Unit 8200 to domestic surveillance connections, Bondi dismantling oversight before the war. I wanted to add defense contractor money through the family Kirk of Charlie Kirk Family Network, but then I had to replace the last one with all of the above. We got 15 votes, 362 people. I need you to hit that like button. my channel is being suppressed once I started talking about this. I was getting 5,000 live viewers, like within the hour, 5,000 views, 1,500, 1,000, 2,000. Now I started talking about this and we're barely at 400. So please push the like button, turn on the notification bell, put as much as you can in the chat, because this will help engage with the algorithm saying that this is important information that needs to get out. We have to share this information. It is super important. I feel like my life's work has come to this point, and I'm sharing it because I need you all to know how important it is. So please like, subscribe, hit the notifications. This is not me simping for subs and views. This is me sharing the truth because I need to share it. What good does it do in my hands alone? Now that you understand the money trail, let me talk about the battlefield, okay? Because Iran is not Iraq, and until you understand why, you cannot see how this insane plan actually is. Insane, okay? How insane this plan is. It's just, let's take a look here. Okay. So, and I will get to any super chats and memberships and stuff after we get through the debrief. Now that I'm showing you this, okay, this is the Lut Desert, apparently where Sheldon Adelson thinks it's a good idea to just drop a nuke, which I don't think he's talking about just the desert, okay? Iran is approximately, I think it's 1.7 million kilometers squared, 3.5 times the size of Iraq, okay? The western border is the Zagros Mountains, okay, along this side here. Okay. I wonder if I can make this look better somehow. Exploration, clean, everything, exploration, clean. Can I do 3D coverage? Yeah. Is that data, buildings, trees? Okay. So I'm going to try to do this right here. So you have the western border, which is the Zagros Mountains, okay? And if we were to come down in here and just drop a pin down in here, can we get in here and just see what that looks like? This is not like, these are like desert mountains. Whoa, where did we end up at? Whoa. Here, let me go back. Okay, cool. So we're zoomed in. Let me zoom. So let's go to these western mountains, okay? Let me get out. I'm going to zoom back in. Where are we at? Here we go. Okay. So this is western Iran on this side, okay? Now, if we go into these mountains over here, I mean, let's just look. No street data available. There's camera pictures, no? I mean, these are serious mountains, you guys. Serious. What do they bring us in here? Look at this. Look at this. You want to mess around with this, bro? This is everywhere. So this cut, look at this is like 3,000 feet, 4,000 feet or higher, 10,000 feet. I don't know, 4,000 meters. The peak of the Zagros Mountains is 4,000 meters. Okay. Now that you see that. So this whole area, the whole entire area is that way. All in here. Okay. All in here. All right. The whole area from bottom, starting around here, back here, all the way up to this part right here. Okay. Then, so that's the western border. Again, peaking at 12,000 feet of mountains, 4,000 meters. The northern border is the Alborz range. Okay. The Alborz range is has Mount Damavand at 5,671 meters. So that's over 15,000 feet. It's the highest peak in Middle East. Okay. Let me do, it's called the Alborz, or actually Mount, show us. Yeah, here it is. This is the northern border. So the only place that you'd really be able to get in on water without coming from this side to hit mountain or this side through the strait mountains here. I mean, look. Okay. This is the highest peak. Look at this. This is a straight up mountain with perma-snow on it. All right. This is not a joke, man. All right. So then if we go like this, this is what it would take to get into it. This is the ocean. Look. So you'd have to come along from the ocean side. Okay. Then you'd have to somehow challenge yourself to get over all of this, just to get to the country. And look at how are you going to think about this? How insane this is. How are you going to get through this? Okay. I'm sure it's done. It can be done, but you're not taking army tanks and, convoy and all that. You're done. Look, all of it. You can go through the whole thing. There's a reason why Saddam Hussein wasn't able to do it. Okay. All right. So let me zoom out a little bit. Go back. So that gives you an idea of the north. Okay. So that's Mount Damavand. And then you have the eastern half, which is salt desert, where NASA recorded the hottest ground on the surface of the earth. Okay. At 159 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. Which is the Lut Desert. Okay. And that's here. The hottest place on earth, right here. Okay. That's this. All right. So now you have an idea of the terrain. Okay. Now that helps, hopefully. So you've got the Lut Desert, the hottest place on earth, with quicksand and just straight raw desert that's probably had bombs dropped and nukes and shit for testing. Now, Iran has 88 million people in these mountain valleys and urban centers that are naturally fortified. It's a fortress. The Fordo enrichment facility near Qom is built inside of a mountain. Let me show you Qom. I think I have it here. Qom. Yeah, here it is. So Qom, okay. This is the IAEA. Close that. Communication for the permanent mission of Ukraine agency. Okay, here, let me see if we just, maybe Google Maps will let me do it. Qom. Here. This is where they have this base, okay, where the IAEA has confirmed that this is where the Fordo enrichment facility, and apparently we had bombed and all this back in the summertime. Iranian military has been building this underground, all kinds of underground bases for over 20 years. Okay. Now let's go look at this and just see, you get a feel for the land here on the outskirts. I don't know where it's going to drop us, in some random house or something. Yeah, of course it is. But here, I mean, you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. Okay. Again, naturally fortified by desert and by mountains. Okay. And this doesn't do it justice until you're there. I've never been. I would love to go to Iran. I think it's a beautiful place. But this is where it's underground. Okay. All the way underground. Now, Professor Lang, which I'm going to show you in just a second, he talks about game theory. And I'm a poker player, so game theory to me speaks loudly. His analysis is quite devastating. Iran is a mountainous fortress that hides its offensive capacity. Okay. The Gulf Coast countries across the Strait of Hormuz are flat desert. They're completely exposed. Professor Lang's data is saying that Dubai at 17,000% water stress is where they're at. Bahrain is at nearly 4,000%. The GCC imports 80% of its food through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. This is the Strait of Hormuz. So the way this works is oil goes out and food comes in. Oil goes out, food comes in. Okay. I'm going to pull up that video and we're going to play some of his right now. So let's talk about the water distress because we're going to get into some of that as well. But you need to understand why this is important. Okay. So I think it's this right here.
This is a map
Okay. Here we go.
in Iran. All right. So this is a map of the world. And if you are light blue, Brazil, Canada, you have nothing to worry about because you have a lot of water, a lot of fresh water, very little population. All right. So 100% just means 100% water stress just means that you drink as much water as the environment produces. Okay? So you want to be below 100% to be sustainable. Ideally, you want to be at 10%. Okay? If it goes above 100%, it means that you are drinking more water, using more water than the environment actually produces. Okay? So you're putting stress on the environment. So 20% is really
And
bad.
by the way, this has over 2 million views in less than 48 hours.
Right? Because you're using twice as much water as the environment produces. Guess what, guys? Look at the Middle East. Okay? Egypt. 6,420%. Saudi Arabia. 883%. All right? Bahrain. Almost 4,000%. Dubai, 17,000%. All right? So water is a huge issue. Again, it doesn't matter if Iran kills American soldiers, destroys American military. It doesn't have to do that. All it has to do is destroy the desalination plants. And then the GCC is destroyed, okay? But it's also true that Iran has water issues. 72% is pretty bad. Okay? So even though the Iranians could destroy the GCC much faster than the Americans could destroy Iran, Iran is still in trouble, okay? So let me give you an example of this. This is like, So this is another map that shows you the issue of water scarcity, okay? And it's just basically the Middle East, okay? Their biggest issue in the future is water, okay? And that's where the geopolitical tensions will arise in the future over water. India is also affected as well, okay? All right. So let's look at the map, guys. This is called Lake Urmia in northern Iran. It's the 6th largest saltwater lake in the world, or it used to be. Okay, this is what it was in 1984. This is the shallow, this is the deep, okay? You guys see that? It's really big, right? 20 years later, guys, this is what it looks like. There's no more water here. You can walk from here over to there, okay? There's some water over here, but it's shallow now. That's how serious the water issue is in Iran. And that's the weak point that the Americans and the Israelis will attack. All right? They want to make sure that Iran has no access to fresh water, which will cause devastation in their nation. Okay, that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is this. This is a map of the different ethnic minorities in Iran. As you can see,
I put this in the chat so that you guys can check it out whenever you'd like.
it's a very diverse place. In the center are the Persians, but you also have 10 other groups as well. And in the borderlands, it's basically a different country, right? Like, these are basically different countries. And so these places have more common areas with their neighbors than they do with Iran. Okay, so the second weakness of Iran. The first is the water. The second is the ethnic makeup of the country. So the strategy of the Americans and the Israelis moving forward is to destroy Iran as a coherent nation state, divided into ethnic enclaves, and have them fight over water. That is the grand plan of the Israelis and the Americans. Okay. All right. This is the vision where Persia is limited, and then all these other places are sponsored by the Americans.
I just posted the link. You want to pin it? I can pin it if you want. Here. I have to get it. It's right up here. Are you not on YouTube or something? It's right. Oh, here. Let me get that. Hold on one second. Put user in timeout. No, I don't want to do that. Here, let me pin it for you guys. Predictive History is the channel. Oops. Predictive History, Professor Lang. There you go. I'll pin it. This is important. You need to watch his channel. Okay.
And the Israelis, they're giving money, they're giving weapons, they're giving political support, and then this war will wage over water forever. Okay?
Forever.
And this is how you destroy Iran and make sure Iran is no longer a viable threat to you. That is the plan of the Americans. Okay? As you can see, it's a pretty evil plan. And that's why they have not announced it. Right? Because if you announce it, you're like, why are you doing this? What did the Persians, what did the Iranians ever do to you?
Remember how they said that they were going to free the Iranian people? Do you remember that? They said they were going to free the Iranians from oppression. And, you know, this is actually the reality behind what they're trying to do. Okay? This is exactly what they're trying to do.
Starting last night and to be completed in a few days, in under a week, the two most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching
Want you to keep in mind when he's saying this, the whole point originally was to stop nuclear weapons. Then it was to free the oppressed. Now we have this.
understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power every minute of every day until we decide it's over. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets, death and destruction from the sky all day long. We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. This was never meant to be a fair fight.
Okay, yeah. Now, watch somebody from Iran speaking about this.
Who devised Iran, an intellectual, knows multiple languages, well-versed in literature. They sat and devised a system where they would develop their own drones and missiles and develop the technology in Iran. At a time when drones and well, the sort of language that you know, and we crush them. Here
we go. So he's asking about
people despair. And if you watch the Secretary of War today, true monster. He was saying, I wish I had it in front of me. I wasn't thinking, but he was saying, we beat them when they're down and we crush them. This is like some animal. He's a Nazi. He's a Zionist. But
Zionist.
But the sort of language that and no one in the Western media says this is outrageous. This is monstrous. No one in CNN, no one in the New York Times. Why? Because it's all the Epstein class. They're owned by the same people. Yeah, this monster.
Here, I'll play it for you.
Finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only US and Israeli air power every minute of every day until we decide it's over. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets, death and destruction from the sky all day long. We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not a fair fight. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be.
So what does that tell you?
He's a thug. He's a thug. And you know, we're playing for keeps. What does that mean? Does that mean like in Venezuela, you're playing for keeps? Our oil is yours? That's exactly what it means. We're playing for keeps. But it's not going well for them. And they can slaughter a lot of people. I may not survive this war. Others won't survive this war. But they're not going to succeed. And this monster is not going to succeed. But the language, and then the fact that all these journalists, they're not shocked. I mean, if an Iranian leader spoke this way, I'd throw a brick at him. But this guy can speak like this, and all the opponents of Trump, when it comes to killing the Amalek, when it comes to killing Iranians, when it comes to killing Lebanese, when it comes to killing Yemenis, when it comes to killing Palestinians, this language is normal. It's okay.
So as Wyatt Reed says, when you watch him give that speech, he says there's no more lies about 30,000 dead Iranians. There's no more false outrage about women's rights. They've finally dispensed with the pretense of protecting Iranians and have moved on to the stage where they massacre as many as they possibly can. That's really what he's saying, right? So all the pretense of the war of we care about the Iranian people and their freedom, and he's just saying we're going to massacre as many as we can because so it's all out the window. And the real point of this is not to help the Iranian people, but to split up and turn Iran into a failed state like they did with Libya and Syria and Iraq, and now they want to do that to Iran, right? It's not about, they don't want to install another puppet. They actually just want to make it a failed state, so they're not a threat to Israel anymore. Is that really what he's saying? We're going to slaughter as many?
Yes, and we're going to. There
you go. I mean, that's what they're planning on doing. And I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, that is exactly what's happening here. Let me pull up was it here and go back to what he's talking about, because he also talks not just about the desalinization, but he talks about the asymmetric method and the drones that are used from Iran, because they're able to create a lot of destruction. Whereas, I'll just let him explain it. It's at this point right here, I think, 26, right here.
Guys, to understand this idea of asymmetry. Asymmetry. All right, so what is asymmetry?
And remember, think about Lori Fronsvy. Think about vulnerability assessment. Think about foreign money, FARA being dismantled. Think about all of it, because it plays a part.
Asymmetry means that the two sides are choosing to fight different wars using different techniques because one is much stronger than the other, okay? America is a great empire. It has unlimited resources. It has the USD. It controls the world, right?
Smash that
Iran
like button. Share this
is a
out.
country that is
It's very important to share this out. I usually don't ask, but I think it's important that this video live stream, and I will make a shorter clip, but it needs to be shown. I'm putting as much as I can within a certain time frame, but please share this out because people need
been
to
under economic sanctions for the past 45 years. It's poor. Its technology is very limited, okay? But as we learn in this class, actually, those nations that are poor actually have more energy. They're more open and they're more cohesive. All right, so let me give you an example. This is what we call the Shahad drones. Shahad drones. Each of these drones costs $50,000 at most, okay? At most. It can go as cheap as 35,000 US dollars. But one of them is $50,000. As you can see, you can fit a lot of these drones to a truck that can go anywhere in Iran, and they can hide anywhere. All right? So the thing to understand is, first of all, these drones are cheap. They're easy to make. They make about 500 a day. Okay? And estimates are about there's 80,000 right now that the Iranians have. So they can go on for a long, long time. Okay? And one of these drones, again, can knock out a desalination plant. It can knock out an oil field. It can knock out a hotel. It can do a lot of damage. Okay? And it's easily transportable. You can hide it anywhere. You can use it from anywhere, okay? And that's what the Iranians are using as an offensive weapon. And how do Americans defend against this? They use something called a FAD, right? Okay, guys, this is what they use. FAD. FAD stands for Thermal High Altitude Air Defense. And they also have like Patriot systems. There's a lot, okay? The thing that you need to know about the system is it's really expensive. This missile, guys, costs $1 million. $1 million. So there's this $50,000 drone coming your way, and you throw a $1 million missile at it, okay? And often these missiles miss, so you have to throw 2 or 3 missiles at it, okay? So you're spending $2 to $3 million on each $50,000 that the Iranians spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that this thing is really big and really slow. And therefore, you can't really move it around. Therefore, it's pretty easy for the Iranians to spot where this is and attack it. And then when these things blow up, that's a lot of money, guys. Okay? Then you're like, what? But this makes no sense. You know the Iranians have drones. They've had drones for like 10 years. You've also seen drones used in the Russia-Ukraine war to devastating effect. Why don't the Americans know this? Why did they prepare? Okay, and again, it has to do with military doctrine. Because military doctrine determines how you fight a war, it determines on your bureaucracy, and it determines how you spend your resources, okay? And unfortunately, the Americans are used to fighting something called the Cold War, right? And the Cold War, because you can actually fight the war. You can actually use, kill each other because then people use nuclear weapons.
So I'll stop it from there and I'll keep going because there's more to talk about. So asymmetric economics with missile defense versus drones. He said the Shahed drone costs about $30,000 to $50,000. An interceptor missile costs $1 to $11 million, maybe even more in certain cases. And Iran is reportedly having over 80,000 drones, and that's what we know about, and producing 500 a day. Now, are they still right now? I don't know. But they were saying that they just over the last few days, how many drones has Iran launched so far? Let's see. So this was 3 days ago. Iran's Shahed drones have brought terror to Ukrainian skies. Now they are being deployed in the Middle East. Iran's noisy $50,000 Delta-winged Shahed drone, 136 drones, have been an unwanted sign over the skies of Ukraine. Hundreds of distinctive weapons have struck Bahrain, Kuwait. So they're doing all this destruction with drones. And when you think about, they have 80,000. If they're only deploying, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 a day, and that's a lot. Like one drone can do how much Shahed drone Iranian can damage can be done. All right. Let's see if there's like a video or something here. You could literally see how these drones can be damaging. Here, let's just go to YouTube and do Shahed drone damage. So these are like, let's see if we could show one that shows damage. So these are those drones. So you see those things flying in. Look at one of those things. Look at how much damage it can do. Look at this. That's a drone. Look at that, dude. One drone. They have 100,000 of these. And one drone can take out an entire building. It can take off, it can destroy an entire desalination facility. It can take out a whole oil refinery. One. And they're just throwing them out like cards. Okay? Like poker chips. Because they're cheap. And they're still getting made in other locations. Okay? So it's not going to just be like, oh, they only have 88,000 and they're done. Look at this. One drone did this. All right? One drone. Look at how much destruction. Okay? This is happening in Tel Aviv, Bahrain, Kuwait. So should that get you to understand the damage that can be done with these things? Now, where is the exit strategy? Okay. Now, that PNAC document that I showed you, well, let's talk actually about the Iraq War. In 1980 to 1988, Saddam Hussein had the full backing of the Western world and the Soviet blockade with chemical weapons, with U.S. satellite intelligence back in the 80s. And after a million casualties, the border did not move. Iran held. This was over 8 years, 9 years. So again, where is the exit strategy? Look at this Iraq war. The Iran-Iraq war began with the Iraqi invasion of September of 1980. After 8 years of conflict, both countries accepted a ceasefire deal brokered by the United Nations. Caused around 500,000 deaths, excluding Anfal campaign, making it the deadliest conventional war ever fought between armies of developing countries. Led by Saddam Hussein, primarily wanted to prevent Khomeini, Iran's leader, following the 79 revolution in Iran. Iraq also feared that Iran, being a theocratic state mostly composed of Shia Muslims, would rally Iraq's Shia majority against the Sunni Muslim controlled by yada, 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 yada. Okay? And nothing changed. Nothing. So they're trying it again. Okay? Nothing's changed. It's the same place, the same outline. Go look. I mean, you could see the map going back to whenever, back until the Babylon, damn near. Okay? There's a reason for that. It's not easy. So the 90-page document that I showed you, this one right here, okay? Rebuilding America's defenses, clean break, all right? These things right here, super critical to understanding the regime change and their goal with no post-regime plan. This should concern every single person in this chat, because the same people who cannot manage a nonprofit's finances are connected to the infrastructure supporting a war against a country that has not been successfully conquered in almost 1,000 years. Drop a 1 in the chat if you knew about the Iraq-Iran war before tonight. Drop a 2 if this is the first time you've heard that Saddam Hussein had Western backing and still could not defeat Iran. 1 if you knew already all about it. 2 if you had no idea and this is the first time you learned. This war did not start on February 28th, okay? It started with the infrastructure being under construction for over 2 decades. June of 2010, a computer worm, I'll show you. It's called let me pull this up. Stuxnet, okay? It was a computer worm discovered inside Iran's Natanz uranium enrichment facility. It targeted specific Siemens, you know those old flip phones, remember Siemens, SIEMENS? They had programmable logic controllers, and they were controlling the centrifuge motors, and it altered the speed commands to physically destroy the hardware while simultaneously replaying normal operating data back to the monitoring systems. The engineers literally were watching their screens showing everything was fine while the machines were tearing themselves apart. And then Symantec published a 69-page technical analysis document. I think I have it here. Well, I have the Wikipedia. Stuxnet is a malicious computer worm first uncovered and thought to have been developed since 2005, a supervisory control and data acquisition system, and is believed to be responsible for causing substantial damage to Iran's nuclear program. So whoever's saying that they have a nuclear program, how many times are they going to destruct this damn thing and then keep saying they're right here, they're coming from, they're going to have it 2 years, 6 months away, 4 weeks away, 3 days away. They've been destroying their program for decades, and they never have actually gotten one. They've never even come close. I mean, how ridiculous do they think this is? How ridiculous do you think this is? Let me know in the chat. Is this ridiculous? How much bullshit they're feeding us versus what the reality is and what they're trying to do? Because it all comes down to Pax Judeaica, which we're going to get to. Okay. So, they had Symantec and Kaspersky concluded that this was a state level weapon. Okay. So David Sanger at the New York Times confirmed in 2012 it was a joint NSA Unit 8200 operation. Olympic Games, which is right here, you can see Operation Olympic Games. Okay. An unacknowledged campaign of sabotage by means of cyber disruption directed at Iranian nuclear facilities by the United States and Boston. As reported, it is one of the first known use of offensive cyber weapons. Started under the administration of George W. Bush in 2006, Olympic Games was accelerated under Obama, who heeded Bush's advice to continue cyber attacks on the Iranian nuclear facility in Natanz. Bush believed that the strategy was the only way to prevent an Boston conventional strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. Okay. And then they have also Operation Merle. I could show you that as well. This one, Merlin, right here. This one was under United States covert operation under the Clinton administration to provide Iran with a flawed design for a component of a nuclear weapon, ostensibly in order to delay the alleged Iranian nuclear weapons program or to frame Iran. So they're literally providing false versions of whatever kind of deal they made. So this is what they're saying back when they gave a deal to Iran. Obama did something similar, okay, giving money back or whatever. It all ties together, okay? In 2000, the CIA deliberately sent a flawed nuclear weapons blueprint to Iran through a former Russian scientist, and the flaws might have been identifiable, meaning the operation may have given Iran some useful weapons design information. So there was a whistleblower named Jeffrey Sterling, and he went to federal prison, United States versus Sterling. You can look it up. The architect of the flawed operation faced nothing. All right. And then there's a film. It was called 0 Days Film. Alex Gibney's 2016 documentary, I have it right here. 0 Day TV series illustrates what a Chinese invasion of Taiwan could look like. It's described a program called Nitro Zeus, full spectrum capability to shut down Iran's civilian infrastructure. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Let me run a banner here. Oh, members only. Excuse me. Whoa. Excuse me. Members only lives on Friday. So become a member for 99 cents. I'm sure you'll love to join us. We have a great time. Let me take this down. What happened? This thing got stuck on there. All right. Now, 0 days has been described in different ways, but it's a full spectrum program to shut down civilian infrastructure of Iran through pre-positioned cyber access points. That's what this 0 day kind of described, I guess, is a power grid, communications, transportation. Former CIA and NSA director Michael Hayden actually appeared it on camera. And I want to be precise here. Nitro Zeus has not been confirmed through declassified documents the way Olympic Games operation was. The sources have and always been semi-anonymous at best to anonymous, but the documentary was produced by an Academy Award-winning filmmaker with credentialed intelligence officials. All right. So I am asking a question. When the lights go out in Tehran and they tell you it was a bomb, how do you know it was not a line of code planted 5 years ago? You don't. Let me know in the chat. I'm trying to do more chat engagement to push this out to the algorithm. Let me know in the chat if you knew about Stuxness tonight. Put Stux, S-T-U-X, in the chat if you knew. Drop new if this is the first time. Stux, S-T-U-X, if you knew about Stuxnet before and this entire cyber operation, or drop new if it's the first time you've heard of this. Now, we're in section 5. It's the water doctrine is what I've got drawn up here. Two completely independent sources arrive at the same checkpoint, okay? A game theory professor and a declassified Pentagon document. New. All right, lots of new people learning. That's great. I love to see that. Good. We're educating Stux, but I come from a hacker virus background. Good. That's interesting. First time. Yeah. This is all important to talk about. That's why I'm saying it has to be shared. Got the receipts. I'm only talking about receipts here, baby. Stud 0. I know you're a stud 0. I know you're a stud, bro. You don't got to tell us. You can tell us if you want. Again, Professor Lang's game theory is the American and Boston strategy is to destroy Iran's water supply because the mountain fortress becomes a mountain prison without water. All right. I played that for you already. Lake Urmia in northern Iran was the 6th largest saltwater lake in the world. Did you know that? Okay, let me pull it up on Google Earth. I still have one, right? Yeah. Lake Urmia, which is right here. Okay. This was the 6th largest water lake in the world, saltwater lake in the world. Okay, NASA satellite imagery, which I'm going to show you right here, shows 80 to 90% of that surface water is completely gone. It was the 6th largest natural saltwater lake in the world. And now it's almost gone. Iran is at a 72% water distress before any single bomb hits a water treatment facility. Okay, that's the methodology here. All right, the true methodology. Starve and thirst. Okay. Starve and thirst. This is it. You can literally see the ground underneath. Okay. This used to be deep, hundreds of feet deep, meters. All right. And it's our money funding this destruction, by the way, for Pete Hegseth. Death and destruction from the skies above. All right. Is my camera freezing or something? Let me check my internet speed. Hold on. Speed test. Oh, it's because I'm using Google Maps, I think. Let me close it. I think that fixed it. Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. Sorry about that. Using the internet. I don't know. I got to get a better. I have fiber, but for some reason it's slowed down today. All right. Now that we've talked about that, Iran is already at risk of shortening of water. The documented presented is a DIA document, okay, intelligence agency dated in 91, Iraq water treatment. That's what I was trying to show you earlier. If I can, I had it up here. I don't know why. Oh, maybe I can show this. Let's show Thomas Nagy's Iraq water. Okay. Maybe go to news. No. Or we can do AI mode. Thomas Nagy, an associate professor at George Washington, is known for exposing U.S. government documents that detailed the deliberate targeting and degradation of Iraq's water treatment system. All right. So Iraq water treatment has vulnerabilities. Of course, everyone's does. But it was calculated how destroying water plants and blocking replacement parts through sanctions would cause waterborne disease epidemics. Okay. It projected child mortality. The strategy was implemented, and then UNICEF estimated hundreds of thousands of excess children's deaths in the following decade. Okay. So that's what this is about. Iraq water treatment vulnerability is a challenge to public health ethics. And there's all kinds of global ethics violations and issues here. The military doctrine affects based operations of the doctrine document is that you do not need to destroy an enemy military if you collapse the systems that their society runs on: electricity, water, food, medical infrastructure. You can even show on this link right here, Professor Morandi, okay? It comes from, if I can find Professor Morandi, it is Marandi, I think it was Professor, yeah, Morandi. I think he's on here, no? Morandi? No, I thought he would be. Well, Professor Morandi confirmed from inside Tehran, hospitals have been hit. Gandhi Hospital, Karam Alania Hospital, Red Crescent headquarters, emergency services buildings, double tap strikes on first responders. Professor Lang had predicted this in game theory, and it's unfolding in real time. The DIA documented the playbook in 1991, and Morandi confirms the application in real time. The filings exist. It has a date, a title, a classification marking, and a FOIA release history. The filings, again, they do not have feelings. And the U.S. government produced a classified document calculating how many children would die if they destroyed Iraq's water supply, and then they did it. Then the children died at projected rates. Do you think that that documentation would be implemented in Iran today? The document that they successfully implemented in Iraq, and it came out to projected numbers. Do you think, put document in the chat if you think that they will apply the same methodology in Iran? Document in the chat, document or doc, DOC. Let me know if you think they would apply it. Let's get reasonable here. I'll put another poll out for something as well. Is the targeting of infrastructure, here, let's do this. Start poll. Is the targeting of infrastructure, one, collateral damage. I'm making good use of YouTube's features today. Collateral damage. B, strategy. Documented U.S. military doctrine. I need more evidence, or, and you don't have to vote, but of course it would definitely help if you did, or this right here. Never heard of effects-based ops. Okay. So the poll that just went in the chat is the targeting of civilian infrastructure in Iran. Collateral damage, deliberate strategy matching documented U.S. military doctrine. Do you need more evidence? Or I've never heard of effects-based ops before today. Professor Lang, again, I keep coming back to him because he did great work, describes the end game as Pax Judeaica. Okay, let me prepare this because we have to talk about it. Where is it at here? Pax. Oh, I got to go in here and find it. Where? On Lang. I could just probably find it right here. Let me see. Or was it it was in a different one actually. It was on James Lee's video. I'm going to go back to James Lee. And you'll see. They explains it very well. It's almost like I would rather them explain it and then I'll cover it again after. This is
who left America for Israel, now telling everybody that they must come.
So we're going to come back from where we ended. Remember, we were right here.
Infrastructure being installed across our own country, and A, the true purpose of it, and B, who has access to it. It's almost like everybody is working in concert. The powers that be, they're all working together to move this.
So to preface this, okay, Pax Judeaica is Israelis' regional hegemony maintained through tech monopoly, financial control, and intelligence supremacy. America fights the war, exhausts itself, withdraws, and military assets can transfer to Boston. Boston becomes the center of global trade. This is like the most important part of this live stream. And I know it's 2 hours in, but this is the end game. Okay. This is the end game. So I asked, do you know the end? Earlier we were talking about what is the end game? This is the end game. Okay.
Plan forward, which I don't pretend to know the totality of this plan quite yet, but just connecting some of the dots. Which here's another dot, a clip of a US-born venture capitalist who left America for Israel, now telling everybody that they must come straight to Israel.
He said, can you even say shalom in New York anymore? That's what Miriam said this morning. So just to pick up on that, what I'll tell everybody is skip Miami. If you're leaving New York, just come straight to Israel. The other thing going on right now is IMEC. And we have here in the audience, Daria, wait, raise your hand. Daria Pishavar, her father and I, Shervin, wrote an article together about how there will be peace between Israel and Iran. As President Trump said, they will join the Abraham Accords. And Noor Pahlavi is here. Her Excellency, thank you for joining us. And I think we'll see, by the way, even more regional integration with the 70 million people of Iran and all the other Gulf nations. And as IMEC runs through Israel, the opportunities are literally going to be limitless. And so we will, over the next decade, build this trillion-dollar economy. And you can decide, you can stay here in New York in a declining empire, or you can come to Israel, which is part of the rising middle of the world, which is moving south and east.
I'm telling you, this is the end game. And I had a conversation with someone last night. I was talking to Bays, and I said, look, I think what's happening is we are in so much debt, and the U.S. knows that. And Boston keeps getting all of this funding, this money, this technology infrastructure, these businesses being opened up over there, the oil money that's coming in. Barron talked about it on his channel, the oil money coming from Venezuela is going into a Zionist organization that is harvesting that money and then using those funds to open up technology facilities and schools in Boston. So they are, in my opinion, taking the money and applying debt and taking the tax and feeding it all in cash to Boston and Israel, Israel. And essentially, they are building an infrastructure for a new world regime, monetary-wise, with no debt. So these business people that are focusing on getting everything there tax-free from our backs, building a whole new organized country funded through this Pax Judeaica.
That's what I encourage you to do.
This is an American telling you to move to Israel.
You can stay in New York in a declining empire, or you can come to Israel. And in terms of peace with Iran, I wonder what specific tactics the Israelis and the Americans, for that matter, are using to bring Iran into the fold. I don't know. And also back to the point of America being a declining empire. I'm not saying we're not a declining empire. I think we certainly are by many metrics, but the elephant in the room, the big question is, could there be this foreign country that is siphoning the value out of America and strip mining everything? Could that be being done deliberately to weaken the United States?
So you can expect a lot of banks to move to Israel, and it's possible Israel becomes now the global reserve currency because everyone is trading with Israel. If you're Russia...
He explains this so well. And it makes complete sense when you look at what's actually happening. Okay, this is what's actually happening. I believe this.
You need to trade with, you need to trade your resources, right? Oil, energy, and grain. Okay, so Russia controls a third of the world's carbohydrates. Guess what, guys? Israel controls Africa. So what will happen is that Russia and other countries will sign a trade agreement with Israel, and Israel becomes a center of global trade. Okay, does that make sense? So this is how Pax Judeaica will profit. And remember that Israel has the world's best intelligence agency, the Mossad. And what they can do is go around the world and create as much chaos as possible.
Dude, Professor Zhang is a baller, yo. Nothing left
Zhang,
to
I was calling him Lang the whole time.
And he is
Zhang.
Absolutely not wrong. Okay, we have, in fact, documented evidence of all of this. This isn't just some crazy conspiracy theory.
Guys, this is Dubai World. It's literally a port, a seaport, which means if you're seeing rockets fly over your head and hitting this port, it did not come from Iran because Iran is there. We
So
won't
they're
see
there.
any rockets flying over our head.
They're there witnessing it, and they're trying to deny that Boston is not throwing bombs. They're saying they didn't do that, but they're there, so they can see where the missiles or drones are coming from, causing this destruction. So if it comes from one side, it comes from Boston. If it comes from the other, it comes from across the Gulf.
Unless we're in a ship. The rockets you've seen came from the opposite direction, and everyone witnessed it. No more lies, motherfuckers.
Tucker Carlson claims Saudi Arabia and Qatar arrested Mossad agents planning bombings. Let's take a listen here.
It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably not, hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait.
And just full disclosure, Tucker Carlson did not cite his sources, so we cannot independently verify those claims, but it does make you at the very least question the official reports. And given some of the things that we've seen on the ground, it's something that we should absolutely do. And also, it should make you think about the lengths that Israel is willing to go to sow discord, racism, and violence in your own country. Reference this headline of an Israeli man arrested for bomb threats against Canadian and United States Jewish targets.
So while the world is burning, Israel, Pax Judeaica, is profiting. And that's what the future looks like for the next 10, 20 years. And this will, of course, lead to the rise of the Antichrist.
Speaking of the Antichrist, let's talk about Christianity a little bit. Has the church been infiltrated?
I wasn't planning on showing all of it, but it's so important and critical to get this information
in
out.
Service of
Look at what they're pushing on American news. Look at how ridiculous
creation of Pax Judeaica.
You go to any church or government building, the cornerstone is most often visible. It's not usually buried in some dark subterranean corner of the foundation, never to be seen. It is the stone from which the building springs upward. There can be no doubt, however, that the building that became Western political thought and therefore the free world was built on a foundation of Judaism. Without millennia of Jewish faith and struggle, there is no Christianity. The foundation is an often unseen and much smaller component of a building structure, but it is nonetheless completely indispensable. After thousands of years of war and diaspora, Israel represents the enduring presence of...
I got to address this. This is not a cover-up for something bigger. It might be beneficial to help cover up the files or whatever, but this has been planned. If you're watching this stream, you got to watch from the beginning because you wouldn't even ask that question. This has been planned for 30 years at least. This is not a distraction. This is the methodology of creating a one world government, okay?
Of Jews in the Holy Land and the protection of that biblical history. Communists and Islamists understand the critical nature of Jews and Judaism to human society. It's fundamental. That's why they attack Judaism, not just Israel, and they want to see it erased from the Middle East. Israel is therefore not just a political jurisdiction. It is a representation of Jewish political, economic, and spiritual power that is related to Christianity and related to Western society and the free world. The jihadists and the Marxists both know that a building unsupported by its foundation will crumble.
Oh, I'm going to get to this. We're going to go look at their constitutional documentation, how they talked to the Pope, and how the Pope wanted nothing to do. We're going to get in. This is just getting started for us.
If Judaism is broken through the erasure of Jews from the Middle East, which is the goal of the Palestinians and the radical Islamists, then Christianity will also become more vulnerable. Spreading generically anti-Israel messaging is anti-Semitic because weakening Israel's right to existence will lead to not only the killing of more Jews, but the erosion of Judeo-Christian principles upon which the Western world is based.
Wow, that is to a T how you use theology to forward some kind of global foreign policy agenda that is deeply, deeply unpopular, which, of course, you can choose to believe that if you wish. I'm not here to tell you what you can or what you should or should not believe, but somehow what he's saying there is that the Christian faith, Christianity as a whole, would be under threat if not for the nation of Israel. And they are using that as justification to basically then ban all criticism of the Israeli government. That, to me, is wild. And by the way, all of this is happening at the same time that they, in this case...
I want to say thank you, Malloy. You've been around. I love your support. This means a lot to me. You're the first super chat of the day. I appreciate you so much. So let's see what you got to say. I'll pause it for this. $99.99 from M. Malloy 8. My brain hurts. My soul hurts. But I thank you for keeping everyone informed. Your time and research are much appreciated. Follow the money and keep exposing. I can't even turn my TV on anymore. It makes me sick. America first. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very important to share this information. It's so important to me because, and another thing about America First, and I had this conversation briefly yesterday. I believe that the America First agenda is being manipulated because it's almost like the same saying, when you give an inch, they'll take a mile. Okay. When you have no particular guideline on what America First actually is, and you leave a little leeway for not being only, then they're like, well, this is important and this needs to be maintained for America First to be there or whatever. And like all of this bullshit comes out. Okay. So instead of it being America only, the reason why they say America First or America whatever is they're trying to say make America great again. It gives them an opportunity to use and abuse the power of the words and the theology of America First by creating the ability to have a segue into other countries, foreign agents, money going elsewhere because of the name of doing good for America First. I personally think that if it was America only, then we would have rigid, structured guidelines saying it's America only, not America First. And because America First, that Boston needs to this and that, that's how we, no. I am starting to think that America only is the only way that we are able to maintain our inherent right to this country without the invasion of foreign adversary and foreign manipulation. I'm really starting to think that is the only way. There's no other way, because if you give an inch, you take a mile. And America First means that there's something second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the list goes for infinitum. And I hate to say it, but that's the truth, because that's what they're doing. And they haven't even gotten to America First anyways. So imagine how far away we are from America only. It's actually mind-boggling. Thank you, Emmeloy, for the super. I really appreciate that.
This is the IDF saying that Purim, triumph over an enemy seeking your destruction. Centuries later, we are reliving that same story.
Purim, a story of surviving in the face of an enemy that seeks your destruction. Sound familiar?
Actually, no, I don't know what that is. What is that? The Book of Esther's violent ending when an
So this goes into the Book of Esther and all of that, which we will cover eventually. But again, he showed you, and we're showing you here, the theology and the theological argument being deployed. Okay, you've got, Christianity being under threat without the nation of Boston, therefore criticizing their government and their policy of that government is anti-Semitic and anti-Christian. And if you are criticizing them, then you can't be Christian. That's what they're telling us. The IDF posted Purim messaging about triumphing over enemies seeking destruction, timed with the Iran strikes. A U.S.-born venture capitalist on camera in Boston telling Americans, you can stay in New York in a declining empire, or you can go there. Now, here's where the theory meets these receipts, because James Lee described this theological capture of the church. Okay? Now, remember, I told you I'm going to tie all this together. I've documented the delivery mechanisms. We are literally creating a movement inside of my Discord. Okay? It's scrolling down below if you want to become a part of it. But we'll all do it here together, or become a member on Friday. We'll talk about it for just 99 cents. We can talk about it on Friday, tomorrow, every Friday. The theological capture with the documented delivery through the FARA-registered agents of the Boston government, geofencing American churches through hundreds of millions of dollars for companies like Show Faith by Works, with the likes of non-registered FARA agents like PJTN from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through Concert, a front company designed to hide foreign government funding. The Boston government documents obtained by the forge showing the payments, and they're denying it, and they're still unregistered anyways. The theological of this, the theology of the software, the geofencing is the delivery mechanism to get this shit to happen. These are all complementary to each other, and they converge on the same conclusion. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented chain with filing numbers, or some lack thereof. And here is what you should be tracking, okay? Watch for unexplained infrastructure failures inside Iran that do not match physical strike patterns. So that would help you identify and understand that cyber ops are being deployed, because what's there is already here, okay? It's just how they use it. If Nitro Zeus or anything like it is real, you're going to see what the activation looks like, and Stuxnet proved it already, so we know it's real. Watch Iranian exile figures start receiving increased Western media coverage. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah, installed by the CIA after Operation Ajax back in 1953. He lives in the DC area. Do you know who he is? Reza Pahlavi. This is who they are thinking about installing into Iran right now. You've seen his face, no? He's the son of the Shah that ran Iran as a monarchy. Before the Iraq invasion, they cultivated Ahmad Chalabi. The Senate Intelligence Committee documented in July of 2004 how his Iraqi National Congress provided, here, I'll show you who he is. The Senate Intelligence Committee had documented this through this with this person, that Iraqi National Congress provided fabricated intelligence to justify the war. Former Deputy Ministry of Prime Minister of Iraq. So if one Iranian exile name starts appearing everywhere simultaneously, you're watching the Chalabi template happen in real time. Okay? You got to watch for domestic legislation. Every war produces a domestic security expansion. And the Patriot Act is what followed 9/11. The AUMF from 2001 is still in effect. Ask, what is the 2026 version going to look like? What about the Sky Foundry Act that we've been tracking? Does it look different now than the world is at war with drones? Do you not see? They're going to immediately enact the Sky Foundry Act, okay? Sky Foundry Act. This is how much I know. It's S2506. I already know. This is the act right here. Okay? So Senator Ted Cruz brought it forward. Here, maybe I have it right here. Sky Foundry Act right here. This is it. Okay. Information. Where is the bill at? Identical bill. When was this? Okay. Gosh, I had it here somewhere. I don't know how to find this damn thing. Sky Foundry Act, Bill 2506. It's here. Where is it? All actions. I have it here. Let me pull it up. Sky Foundry Act. Let's see if I have it right here. I mean, you could see even on YouTube, I think I have a link. Let me see. This dude right here talks.
Do you now want to make a total left turn here and talk about some legislation that you introduced that has to do with upping drone production in this country? It's called the Sky Foundry Act. Talk to us about it.
Well, look, we've got a couple problems when it comes to our national defense. And number one, we only make about 50,000 drones a year when our adversaries are going to make north of 25 million drones this year at a far lesser cost, by the way, that costs us to produce those 50,000, which is just nonsensical. We're learning incredible lessons from the battlefield in Ukraine, what Israel is having happen in their own backyard. And we're seeing what's happening down in South
This was
America,
3 months
Mexico,
ago.
with cartels and narco
They
terrorists.
already knew that this was going to happen, is what I'm trying to say. It's all planned. It's all planned. How can you say it's not? Sky Foundry is definitely looking a lot different now to the House and Senate and Congress and whatever to pass a bill to build 1 million drones minimum a year, which is going to look more like 10 million. You're going to see these fuckers flying all over this country. That's the surveillance state. They build AI infrastructure built into it. Check this out. Let me show you this. Look at this. You can see that. It's all part of a bigger plan. Now, I know for a fact Sky Foundry Act's going to pass. Ted Cruz is going to get more millions of dollars from the Zionist lobby. This is the legislation. Every war produces expansion, okay? Watch the reconstruction contracts when the shootings stop. After Iraq, Halliburton and Bechtel got billions in no-bid contracts after that war in Iraq. Who gets them this time? Who's funding it? Who are the financial institutions that are funding the reconstructions? Watch the FARA database if anybody complies. It is still a law as a foreign agent to apply and be part of the FARA registration form. For the new Iran-related registrations, you have to see. Since Bondi gutted the enforcement, let's watch and see whether anyone even bothers to register. Watch the Strait of Hormuz. 20%. They closed it down. 20% of the world's oil goes through a 15-mile gap. Okay? Professor Zhang's analysis says Iran is closed. And I've seen also this. Lloyd's of London political risk tells you more than you would get from a Pentagon public briefing. Watch the gas prices because it's about to explode in pricing. Every cent at the gas pump is a tax on you, more taxes on you to fund a war written on paper before we were born, or maybe some of you. Yeah, I mean, back in 1953. So I'm going to have a closing statement here. And I do want to put a poll up to get your opinions here in the chat, and I'll close this poll here. So documented U.S. military. So we got one. So the last one was is the targeting of civilian infrastructure in Iran documented U.S. military doctrine. I need more evidence. I never heard. Okay. So let's do one last poll. All right. After tonight's debrief, what concerns you the most? I'm going to put up church geofencing, manufacturing, war support. Or support. We've got surveillance tech connecting to domestic infrastructure. Okay, let me see. I got a couple others here. The documented water doctrine being applied. Ooh, that one's pretty bad too. And then we've got another one. I'm not quite done yet, you guys. We'll be done shortly here. Bondi dismantling. I guess we'll do that. Okay, so the poll is up. After tonight's debrief, what concerns you the most? Church geofencing to support war, surveillance tech, domestic infrastructure, the documented water doctrine, Bondi dismantling oversight. Now, I want to leave you with a thought, and then we will hit whatever memberships and whatever else we've got from there to end. In this, we've mentioned that U.S. troops are reportedly being told that this war, I mean, people have said it in general. James Lee's mentioned it as well, that this war is intended to bring about biblical end times. I cannot verify that claim, and I will not present it as a fact until I see the receipts, that's hard to do. But the idea of soldiers being told a war is righteous is not new. Homer wrote about it 3,000 years ago in the Odyssey, and Odysseus goes to Troy believing the war is about justice and saving families. And when he wins, he discovers that that he destroyed a civilization and created the very suffering he told himself he was preventing. It breaks him. And then predictive history teaches about Homer, and he made this point to his students that, and the question is the Odyssey is asking is, having done so much evil, how can you even go home? I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to show you what the data shows and exists in public records and put it in sequence so you can see the shape of the machinery. The blueprint was written already decades ago. The cyber weapons have been deployed already in the past and already confirmed different types of military campaigns in order to cause and kill and destruct. FARA-registered agents targeting American churches, surveillance technology connecting Boston's intelligence to American infrastructure, the attorney general who was a foreign agent dismantling the oversight, and the bombs falling right on schedule for the final hurrah. This war is a product. Everything else is the assembly line. So follow the money and seek the truth. Share the stream, hit the like button, join the research, go to americansfortransparency.org. Join the Discord for $5 or become a member for 99 cents to show your support. And that's it for the debrief. So that was wild. Okay. There's a lot of things, China and Russia possibly helping Iran. What can we do about it? How does TPUSA connect to the Iran war? That is literally a lot of what tonight's stream is about, is same FARA pipeline, same technology lineage, same defense contractors connections, same oversight gaps, not separate stories, but one system. My TPUSA streams get 10 times the views. By this, if it was me shitting on Erica Kirk, it would be at like 10,000 views by now. We're at like barely 2,800, which is, I'm happy for every person that's here because these are the people that I want watching this content, not somebody looking for drama. This is reality, shit that affects our real life day in and day out, the future of our kids. I read all the documents. So, got new membership. Welcome AZ Life. Love and Compassion, new member. New or upgraded member. Biscuits and Gravy 671, new member. Limit Breaker XMG, new member. Welcome. M. Malloy gifted 5 Danks memberships. Hey, say thank you if you got one from M. Malloy. Thank you so much for your support. Michelle Buke 1091, new member. Welcome. And of course, M. Malloy coming through with the banger. Thank you guys. So don't forget to like. What's up, Baze? Yeah, this is a good one, bro. You're going to like this. Good to see you, bro. We got 800 live viewers across platforms on X, YouTube. Oh, Rumble. The Rumblers. What are you guys up to? Anybody in the chat over there? Or is it empty? Looks like it's empty. Nobody here? Did it even? Oh, yeah, it did. Oh, no, it didn't. Something happened. Oh, yeah, it's live. I was on the wrong one. Something happened. Never mind. We gotta get this Rumble thing going. I was thinking about doing some other stuff on Rumble though, for sure. But yeah, again, this is crazy, man. There's a lot going on. Oh yeah, and if you can hype, I don't know if you can right now, but after it's done, yeah, you definitely want to check it out. So if you have questions, I'll try to monitor the chat and see if anybody has questions, but we need a fifth choice. I can't do 5 choices, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, we're literally connecting the infrastructure of surveillance and all of this stuff happening. Literally, I talked about this. We talked about it last month about TPUSA requiring all of these schools, man. You know, and when you see that, it's very blatantly obvious to me that we are seeing the infrastructure being rolled out within our own country, inside of schools, inside of churches. This is serious business. These people are serious. And they're this Pax Judeaica stuff. I don't mind playing more of James Lee. I mean, let me see if I can find where we were at there on that, because it's really good what he's talking about. I mean, it's really important stuff. Let me see. And then we lost a soldier.
And Kelly says no one should have to die for a foreign country.
Welcome,
But
Adrian.
Unfortunately, here we are. We are heartbroken to learn that Declan Cody, a
Not
well-loved,
yet.
highly dedicated.
I haven't connected Life Touch yet, but we'll get there. Hey, ML Marty, thank you for the super sticker. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
A Drake University student studying information systems, cybersecurity, and computer science was confirmed to be among the 6 U.S. service members killed in Kuwait on Sunday. He has bravely served in the U.S. Army
You're
Reserve
welcome.
since 2023 as an information technology specialist and had an incredibly bright future ahead of him in moments like these. So we must all come
Did
together.
you guys see the Marine's hand get broken? Look at this. Let me see. Let me show you this. This is crazy, bro.
Out. No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand, his hand. Oh, his hand.
You can hear it
No
break.
one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand, his hand.
Ah,
Oh,
shit.
his hand.
Hit the like button, you guys.
Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Only go of the door. The senator broke his hand.
You gotta hit the like. You gotta hit the like button. I know it's a lot. It's not that much on your end. We have to share this, and I'll make a video today about it. And it's gonna go. I'll have a shorter version of it tonight, but it's important. We got to get this out there. I mean, this is crazy, bro.
Go of your hand. Let go of the door.
This Marine came into the Senate, and a senator is trying to remove him because he's saying no Americans should die for a foreign country. This is how they treated him.
Only go of the door. The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Sir.
Okay. They're trying to remove him.
Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
What's up, Kelly?
Hand stuck.
And he's like not even
A
phased.
U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. You're a
That is a badass Marine, bro. His hand just completely snapped, bro. Look at this. Not even phased.
Out. No
6
one
dudes.
wants to fight for Israel.
His hand, his hand. Oh,
Ah.
his hand.
Woo wee. Brutal. All right. Well, that's what I'm here for, exposing the truth. So yeah. Any questions or anything? Nobody from the Trump regime even showed up to receive. Yeah, that's another one. Yep. Let me see. Nobody showed up from Trump fallen soldier. It was Valhalla showed that, right? Let me see. I'll have to go to Valhalla's stream then, and I'll find it because I have his. I have it right here. Let me see. Here, let's just go up to. You guys got to see this. He's got a few good points here. I'll show you his stream, a couple of things from there that he was talking about yesterday. I think it was, let me see. How do they charge him anything when he has freedom of speech? I don't know. That's what's crazy to me. Here, let me, I'll just play it while I grab the transcript real quick. What's crazy is they're not letting you easily copy the transcript. They won't. Usually they'll let you copy it. But when you click copy, it says there's no transcript, which is crazy. So I got to go and do it all one by one. Make sure you hit the poll. There's 300 of you in there. Please hit the like button. Please vote in the poll. It'll make a big difference for this stream, for real. Where does Valhalla in this transcript show that no Trump admin showed up for fallen soldiers? Okay.
Forever, because that's how he talked for 7 years straight.
24 minutes, I think.
So like MAGA, hey, dude's more masculine than him. That's unfortunate for you, but that's the guy we're talking about. Now, 6 dead service members. They've been returned home. Guess who didn't show up to greet them? Anybody from the Trump administration. No SecDef, no vice president, no president, just by themselves. Yep. Just couldn't give a fuck less. And we know they don't care because, of course, this is what Trump said. This is a clip from my buddy Jimmy Watson.
3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. And sadly, there will likely be more.
My bad. I wasn't showing.
What Trump? Return. Talking about now. 6 dead service members. They've been returned home. Guess who didn't show up to greet them? Anybody from the Trump administration. No SecDef, no vice president, no president, just by themselves.
The neocon, this is from Brett Booth. We got a 1 month member chat. The neocons are calling us traitors. Gary at Paramount Tactical. Oh gosh. They're calling us traitors. Traitors to who? Our own country? How could that even be? I'm going to have to cover that if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe you. I know it's I'm sure it's true. But.
Just couldn't give a fuck less. And we know they don't care because, of course, this is what Trump said. This is a clip from my buddy Jimmy Watson.
3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is.
It's cool to see
that's the way it is.
Get whacked on national TV. But let me ask you a question. What happens when Trump gets out of office and he sends troops over to Iran? Are young men to some far-off foreign distant land to die for a cause that they don't even know what the cause is?
Yep.
Just like Iraq, just like Afghanistan, no exit strategy, Sun Tzu, Art of War.
Yep.
A general without an exit strategy has already lost the battle.
That's a great
And then all of this is part, it's like they just get a line, bro. It's so crazy. Like, I mean, dude, he shows Nick Fuentes. I haven't seen this. What does he say?
Yep, we're good. Okay, sorry. Oh, okay. All right, let's keep it moving. That's a good take. That's a
what
good
does he
take.
say? Let me go back to it.
Wow. You know who's had
Dave Smith.
There's a lot of riveting takes tonight. And again, Tatum, of course, shares that like it's gospel because he obviously fucking.
I mean, this whole live
IQ
stream we
about
could literally
64.
watch.
Let's get to good takes. Good takes, right? Good takes. There's a lot of good takes out there right now, and it's the same group of people that have all the good takes. Isn't that interesting? It's always the same people that have the bad takes as have the good takes. Let's check it out.
Fuck JD Vance. Fuck Marco Rubio. Fuck Tulsi Gabbard.
Yup.
Donald Trump has made his bed. Like, this really is it. This game where there's Tucker Carlson and there's the majority of his base and there's Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and, whatever. Donald Trump chose Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Netanyahu. The most discredited.
Does Dank's research scare Gary a bit? It might be getting too close to Gary's friends, maybe. Nothing scares me, dude. Number one. But number two, you're right. I'm not trying to get anywhere near these mothers. I think that Gary, from the brief clip I saw him destroying Project Constitution epically, I thought it was hilarious, to be honest. Whatever, not in that I'm in favor or not. I just thought it was hilarious that he called him Cartman. But it looked like Gary was just trying. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't watch Gary, but from the short clip I saw, it's like he's just trying to do his best on the other side of the argument instead of everyone shitting on them. TPUSA, he's trying to go on the other side. But the way I see it is he's playing political favoritism, because if you pick on the side of TPUSA, then eventually maybe he gets to go and speak there, be on their podcast, go to political events. Maybe he's got some long-term play. I mean, this whole industry is not what it seems, you guys. Being on YouTube is not what it seems. People are intentionally doing things in certain ways, okay, for a certain agenda.
Credited, evil, laughingstock Yahoo. Ever. There's the majority of his base, and there's Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and, whatever. Donald Trump chose Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Netanyahu. The most discredited, evil, laughingstocks on the planet. That's who he chose to go all in with. So he's made his bed. Let him sleep in it. I hope the Republicans lose the midterms this year. They need to. For the country, they need to be destroyed. And no one from this administration can be supported in 28. Fuck JD Vance. Fuck Marco Rubio. Fuck Tulsi Gabbard. Fucking, she hasn't resigned yet? Fuck Tulsi Gabbard. Dude, the goddamn no war with Iran shirts that she was selling. How much money you make off those shirts, Tulsi? How can you not return that money? Fuck JD Vance. Fuck Marco Rubio.
All right, sorry.
Super
All
chat.
this shit in.
Thank you, Danielle. D5959. I think it's who I might be. Is that Danielle from France? Fuel for further digging for 12 euros, I think. Digging and exposing. Thank you, Danks. Blessings from Alsace. Thank you. Alsace. Yes, it is. Alsace is one of my favorite regions for wine. If you don't know it, they're known for great white wine. I'm a sommelier, happen to be by trade. Thank you for that, Danielle. It really means a lot. You have no idea. These super chats, they mean a lot because this is what I live off of in between contracts, and I'm in between getting ready to go on to one now. But yes, this means a lot. Thank you.
In 2023, I believe, to the T. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
This is all up to you.
It's from the attack by Hamas because now they get to solve the Gaza question finally.
This was right after October 7th.
That's why I say share it, like it. I mean, like it, because if you don't understand why I say like and subscribe and notify and chat and all of the comment, it's because it signals to the algorithm that it's important and it creates conversation. When the algorithm picks that up, and if the chat is going money printer, that's why you see those big live streams going out, is because the chat's going crazy. People are always liking, sharing. Sharing is like the most important. You share the stream, put it in Discord, share it on YouTube, share it on X, share it in your email, share it on Facebook. That's how the exposure grows, not by just watching it, not doing anything. If you want this information, if you care about it enough, that's why people ask, especially me. You don't see me ask very often. But now I'm getting to the point to where we must share this information. This has to go out. Put it on Facebook. Send it to all of the people that you talk to about this stuff in all of your groups. Hit the share button, copy the link, and send it. Send it to your parents. Send it to your kids, whoever needs to see it.
Now they get to go in and kill them all and ethnically cleanse this region. In doing so, they know they're provoking and basically an unavoidable retaliation. There's an unavoidable reciprocal attack by these Iranian militias against Israel. And all that does is give Israel an excuse to do what they always wanted to do, which is to bomb Iran's centrifuges, which is their nuclear program. And if they do that, then Iran is in a war with Israel. And then they draw the United States into a war with Iran. And they get the crown jewel, what they always wanted, which is an end to the regime in Syria and an end to the regime in Iran.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the big play that Israel is making. So consider the following. Israel had an intelligence failure. Oops. Number one surveillance superpower in the world. It's your neighbor. Oops, we didn't know that Hamas was going to.
I can't even talk about this one. I can't even show this one because we know what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, he nailed it. It's long. He nailed it to the T in 2023, like exactly what was going to happen to the T. A couple more from old Nicky boy that again.
Hey, it's just Zero coming through. I appreciate you, man. Lunch is on me for $20. Sadly, 20. Oh man, it's plenty, bro. I appreciate that. Not necessary again, but I appreciate it. Like I said, any of these things helps a lot. $20. Buy me some. I cook food. I'm a chef too, so I cook. Sometimes I eat out and I eat fast if I need to, but I'll probably buy something to cook with that. I appreciate that. But he says, sadly, $20 does not buy much these days. Sad face. Yeah, that's unfortunately the truth. Sadly, yeah. And it's going to get worse. I don't know where the administration has in their mind that they could say that the economy is booming and the Dow is up, the Dow. When money is scarce, people are having I'm so blessed to have this as an opportunity to share my information and get paid for it from views and from the help of you guys. It's important that I'm able to do this because it keeps me from, because I do other important work too, right? This is my voice, but I do important work when it comes to helping companies that are smaller businesses that need help from someone that they can't afford millions of dollars for a development company. I can help them develop for a fraction of the cost. Like the company, like Palantir develops these AI systems for administrative work. I can do the same thing for 5% of the cost because it's just one person. I don't meddle in like all the military war stuff. I build defense systems for administration and like human resources and stuff like that, because you can't have AI in a defense contractor. I work as a independent contractor. One of my clients is a defense contractor for the DoD, and they're a smaller company. They're not like Boeing or anything like that, and they're local. And I know the VP and all this, so it's more like my work is helping for defense. But the Department of War is not something I want anything to do with. I even had a conversation with my contractor, and we were talking about Claude and all that, and we were like, she was asking me about the Department of War and how I feel about AI and all that, and I was like, I don't want to do anything with that. Like, I'm happy with the administration, paperwork, like documenting, building AI systems for that. And then also, what's great about this company is they make the flares for like boats for the Navy and for helicopters, for help. And they make different types of things, like say you're in a plate, like a fleet of planes, and they need to scramble so that you can't tell what's there in the air. They deploy this specific kind of technology, and it makes it look like there's a small boat in the water or something instead of like 40 planes in there. I think it's kind of cool. Thank you for the super chat.
Like him, love him, hate him. He's on point when it comes to what's going on in Iran, for sure.
I am not voting for the vice president and the secretary of state that brought us to war in Iran. I won't do it.
Yeah, buddy.
In 2016, I voted for Trump at 18 years old because Trump said the war in Iraq was a mistake. He said Rubio was a puppet of the Adelsons, and Vance voted for Evan McMullin, a CIA spook picked by Bill Kristol. I'm now going to vote for that.
You know how many people tell me to check my email? How many emails I got? I will check. I do check my emails, but sometimes maybe they get sent to spam. So I will check. Let me tell you this. When you ask me to check my emails, I need you to say, this is what's in the subject. Okay? I need to know. If you don't want your email address out there, then at least tell me the subject. I need to know. So then I think he shows.
I'm going to vote for the Rubio Vance ticket that brought us to war in Iran over my dead body. I would rather die than vote for that. I am not voting.
I mean, there it is. Let's take a look. Not from Megyn Kelly, by the way. I don't expect to get a good take ever out of her mouth, but from Marjorie here.
At least JD has worked to stop this, but he's lost.
Hold on, I think I got to reset this. This is completely not true, which Megan just said, by the way, but we'll talk about that.
I'm sure behind the scenes, at least JD has worked to stop this, but he's lost. I mean, that's
gotta say
what's
it.
obvious now is any detractor. The same way Tucker went in and tried to talk Trump out of this, and he lost and admitted the Mark Levins of the world have won.
Yep.
I mean, Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham, forgive me, spent the entire weekend with a massive heart on. There's just no, you could see it in the commentary. They were thrilled. They were gleeful. I mean, they were just overly excited at the fact that we were now risking American troops.
There's one last dude I want to show you guys, Andy Frisella. He was saying some pretty good stuff I saw the other day, and then I'll wrap it up here shortly. Thanks. Can you just say you saw I emailed you just now? I just saw that you emailed me just now. Is that what you want? Yeah, I just saw it. I'm not a liar. These guys right here.
And reflects lives in full, illuminating why, in our judgment, they were significant. We fairly and accurately include the newsworthy details of each life and death, and don't treat them dishonestly to score points like you're trying to do here. But again, you have a guy who murders his own people and a guy who just, speaking the truth, and one's called a racist.
They're getting in trouble for this particular comparison?
For this comparison.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting the heat, dude.
Iran's short-range ballistic. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles.
So now after this entire live stream, how silly does this sound? After we just watched all of that, and you hear Rubio sit here and say this. How does that sound?
To eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic.
Let's listen to it again.
Explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now.
Okay, this is very important for you guys listening. Listen to what his reasons is, okay? This is the second question everybody's been asking, why now? Listen to this very closely.
The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond and respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true because, in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces.
There you
we
go.
knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks,
there
we
you
would
go.
suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
He says it right there. We knew they were going to send out attacks on Iran. Boston was going to do it. And we preemptively attacked because it would have been worse if we didn't before them. What kind of bullshit logic is that? Tell me, what kind of bullshit logic is that? It makes sense if you're stupid and you want us to think we're fucking stupid. Whoa, $100 super chat. What's up, Michelle Butte? Good to see you. Michelle, 1091, $100. Thank you for the support. Thank you. That means a lot. So much. Americans are not stupid. This is going to be a global disaster, and we will all suffer the consequences and all satisfy Netanyahu's hard on. We didn't ask for this. Thanks for all you do. You're right. It's tragic, man. This is World War III. In the beginning of the episode that I showed earlier of I gotta pull it up again. Let me see. Let me show you. He literally says this right here in the beginning of his episode. Thank you for that super chat. That's nice. That's massive. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I know what it's like to give those super chats. I've given them before, and it's nice to give. I appreciate that. Listen to what he says in the beginning.
I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world. So as you know, World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack Iran. And we are now in the 4th day of this war. And we
put a 1 in the chat if you want to stick around and watch this. I'll play it. If not, I'll close up. I'm willing to stick around a little bit longer and play some of this. This is a really good episode. But to Michelle's super chat, he explains a lot of this. So I'm happy to play it. I'm also willing to get out, cut for the video tonight for the shorter. Depending on how many ones we get, I'll stick around for a little bit longer and watch some of this. But yeah, I mean, we are suffering at the behest of a foreign nation. More ones, and I'll stick around. It's up to you guys. And when you see this whole live stream in totality, and you see exactly how the whole world is being flipped upside down, okay? And it's actually on purpose. They're siphoning money, pulling into a foreign nation because they know that we're in out of control spending. There's no way that we can come out of it. They know this. So why not supply a foreign country that we can help control and surveil and build a new dominant dollar, a shekel, if you will? It's people suffering on behalf. We got a bunch of ones. How many did we get? Got like 20. How many people are here? 273. Okay. It is 2:20. We'll go another. We'll see how long this goes, and we'll watch. This is super good, so I want you guys to see it. So I'll play it. You guys want me to be here still? You want me to stick around? Okay. And I'll commentate. And if you have questions, just let me know or get my attention in the chat or however you want.
We can expect this war to last for many weeks, possibly also for many years. But I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again. So what we will do these next few weeks is use game theory and understand and analyze the geopolitical situation.
Right? He said it right here.
I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again. So what we will do these next few weeks is use game theory and understand and analyze the geopolitical situation.
Share.
And so I'm going to teach you the ideas, the theory, the technique.
You have to share. That's the only way this is going to jump out at algorithm. They don't want me talking about this.
So in the early morning of Saturday, in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments and disputes about as to what happened. The Americans and Israelis said that they had real intelligence about where the leader was, and so they sent airplanes to just bomb the crap out of the place. They also had a spy who was able to record the body of the dead Ayatollah. And then this was announced. At first, the Iranians denied this.
I just want to say thank you again. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Emily, and all the supers so far. I appreciate all of you guys, really. It means a lot. Trust me.
Insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also said is...
because I know that right now is a tough time. So anything given, I know that you mean it, and I know why you're doing it, and I appreciate it. I want you to know that I always appreciate it. It's not just about the money. It's about me knowing that I'm making an impact, and it motivates me to continue on this story and continue revealing the truth. And I said in the live stream yesterday, I said, TPUSA and shitting on Erica, I can get 1 million views in a month on that if I really wanted to, because I know exactly how to do it. But I've refrained, and I've talked about other more important stuff, because what good is my message and my tooling and ability to research and bring real information with receipts if I'm not helping impact the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis off of the reality of our real life, day-to-day affected circumstances, shit that affects our lives, our money, our jobs, our family, our parents, our kids, our educations. All of it is impacted. And me talking about Erica Kirk and her emotional distraught because she doesn't know how to handle all the like bullshit coming at her. There's no reason for me. Like, they want this on YouTube because they want to use that as a distraction against this or against the files, whatever. That's what they want. That's why they pay us more. I showed on last night's live stream. They're paying me 3 times more to dump on Erica Kirk content and shit on TPUSA content than they are about this. $4 for every 1,000 views for this, $12 to $35 every 1,000 views for Erica Kirk and TPUSA. But I am deliberately choosing to make this content. Do you understand? I make 4 times less money making this content, but I choose to do it because I have to do it. I'm told to do this. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. That's all I can say. That's the only way I know how to say it.
Is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he chose to stay in Tehran and die for his people. But not only that, but he died along many of his relatives. He died along with his daughter, his son-in-law, his grandchildren. So many of the family died in this assault. Also, there's been reporting that he had prostate cancer. Okay, so he was going to die fairly soon as well. So what you need to understand first about the war is that even though the Americans and the Israelis claim great success in decapitating the leadership of the Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay?
This is very educational. He talks about, and we're going to watch it, he talks about what this actually means for the Iranian people and why what we're doing affects them and how it affects them and what they're saying. This is important, okay?
From Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom
from an Iranian
of the Iranians. From the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay? And so the religion of the Iranians is called Shia Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim.
He's in the chat. I pinned him in the chat. I pinned his comment in the chat. Predictive history. That's who he is. It says it right here. You just read it right here, Predictive History. Go to his channel.
So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world. The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted. So in the Shia faith, the core value, the force that binds everyone together and gives them...
Well, it's funny. Integrity. I mean, yeah, I got a lot of subs from TPUSA and just exploiting what they're doing. But what gets the views and the subs is just drama, unfortunately. But this is another level of drama, bro.
Purpose and meaning in life that galvanizes them into action is the idea of martyrdom, which forces jihad. To sacrifice yourself for your religion, sacrifice yourself for the common good. So think of the death of Khamenei as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice in order to motivate the Iranians in this war, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. That for the Iranians, this is not a geopolitical war. This is not an economic war. This is not a war of resistance. This is a jihad, okay? It's a war against the great Satan to avenge their leader. They will fight to the death, all right? That's number one. Number two is this.
Yeah, also Crystal, if you're just listening, then it's Predictive History.
Morning when the Ayatollah was killed, they really struck a school in the south of Tehran, killing about 150 school children. These are girls in primary school. And again, there's a lot of debate and argument as to what happened. This really said that, first of all, the school was next to a military base. We were targeting a military base. And second of all, it wasn't us which struck the school. It was a air defense missile that went off course. Okay? And the Iranians insisted, no, the Israelis purposefully attacked the school to kill the school children. And then you're like, why would the Israelis do that? But then these few years, well, we've seen what they've done in Gaza, in Palestine to the Palestinians. And it's pretty consistent what the Israelis have been doing. All right? So this action against the Israelis, it's meant to show to themselves and the world that we are now...
Really? I'll leave this open so we can come back to it. This is going to be a longer live stream today. Kristi Noem fired, replaced. No shit. No shit.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. We're coming on the air because President Trump has just announced that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is out of a job. This follows reports that the president was frustrated by her recent testimony on Capitol Hill. Noem under fire from both parties over her job performance and her handling of the immigration crackdown. And that includes her response to the deadly shooting by federal agents of two American citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Just moments ago, the president saying he's naming Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to become the next Secretary of Homeland Security. Let's get straight to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce. Mary, what do we know?
Well, Kira, the president just announcing this in a social media post that Markwayne Mullin is going to become the new Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security as of the end of this month. And the president, who, as you note, we know had grown increasingly frustrated with Secretary Noem this following several days of her testimony up on the Hill, the president posting the current secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the West. It also comes, of course, as you note, that she received a lot of backlash after her response to the killing.
Markwayne Mullin from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Republican Party, education, Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's up? You need to go potty? You want to go potty? Here, let me take them out. I'll play this. Hold on one second.
killings of 2 American citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. She, of course, was very quick to come out and label them domestic terrorists. She falsely said that Preddy was brandishing a gun. It created quite a controversy for the administration. Then, of course, the president moved in Tom Homan, his border czar, to take over the situation in Minneapolis. But Kira, the big picture here, it is important to remember that this is now the first major firing that we have seen in the president's second term. To fire Kristi Noem, move her away from being the DHS secretary to this new post at the end of this month. Unlike in his first term, where there was quite a bit of turnover in the cabinet, she is now the first cabinet secretary to be let go by President Trump.
Let's bring in our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, as we get this news now, let's just talk about how DHS changed under Kristi Noem's leadership. And it didn't take long for her to receive a lot of heat from critics once she did take that position.
Indeed, Kira. And there was a key moment this week at that Senate hearing. This over $200 million ad campaign came up, and Senator Kennedy, a Republican, was pressing her on why was the funding as high as it was. He expressed deep concern that it was too much money, and he asked the secretary about it, and she claimed that the president was engaged in this. Now, we just saw from our own reporting from Rachel Scott and others that the president is now claiming that that is not true. And again, this ad campaign stars Kristi Noem, and basically the messages to undocumented people: leave now or be deported. And again, $200 million, and you could see these ads during football games, during the NFL, college football playoffs, the NBA, all types of major ad buys.
You know why? Because he has a degree. So Wayne Mullen has a degree from the Oklahoma Institute of Technology. Okay. And so she runs, this is the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. What this means is they're implementing a full-blown technology surveillance apparatus. The Department of Homeland Security runs the airport checkpoints, the checkpoints for all of the, they do all of the traffic lights, all of the stuff that involves implementing technology. The Sky Foundry Act for the FCC Committee and Appropriations, the border technology contractors. Mullen sits on the Armed Services Committee and Appropriations. He knows where the defense money flows, okay? And he just got handed the keys to the department that would oversee any domestic deployment of the surveillance infrastructure we've been investigating, bro. How this timing you can't make this shit up. Noem being fired is almost like introducing a new receipt of hundreds of millions of oh my gosh, bro. This dude is wow, bro. This is insane. Mullen and several other Americans flew to Greece. The Department of Defense, man, they are literally implementing this shit right before our eyes. This is, oh man. Wow.
We have some breaking news, and this comes a day after a difficult couple of days on Capitol Hill in both the House and the Senate for Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary. She is being replaced. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is now going to take over.
Thanks for the super
the
chat.
President making the announcement on Truth Social just a short time ago.
Thanks for the super chat, big chat. Welcome, not Conor McGregor.
He writes, quote, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary."
All right, I'll have to look up on that. Where's the video at? Here we go. That's crazy, bro. Crazy, bro.
Now all in, okay? We've made the sacrifice. We are now committed to this war, to winning this war at all costs. And this action has also provoked the Iranian people to resist with their full might, okay? So I want you to keep this in mind. And again, we don't have complete evidence that it's the Israelis who did this, but given past actions from the Israelis.
He's talking about the bombing of the school children, the girls' school children, and basically how we thought it was us, and they want us to think it's us that did it, the Americans. But in reality, it was the Bostonians who did this and trying to pin it on us.
Israelis, this is fairly consistent with what they've done. Okay, so we can assume that this is something the Israelis did. Why they did this, what the purpose is something we will discuss as we move on. Okay, it's very complicated.
Hey, thank you.
Next, I want to show you this. This is Dubai.
OG, and old granny, old granny Dankette. I love it. Thank you for the super chat. Moonchild Blue 62. I remember that name. Old granny. We got a lot of old granny boomers on here that love the content, man. I do it for you. I do it for you and the kids.
Dubai is considered one of the wealthiest, safest cities in the world. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Westerners who move to Dubai because it's clean, you don't pay any taxes, you make a lot of money, and there are great restaurants. And this is really the economic model of Dubai. It's one of the GCC countries, okay? The Gulf coastal countries. And for the longest time, Dubai had a really good deal because they were under the protection of the American military. So they didn't have to pay for defense. And then they were in the Middle East, which is the oil producing center of the world. And so they focus on aviation. They focus on logistics. They focus on finance, on tourism.
Bays wants to come. Bays is saying he has time to come up. I don't know if I have more time to do this. I mean, I have time, but I haven't eaten and my butt hurts. Just sitting. I know if Bays comes on, I'm going to be stuck here for another hour at least. Maybe.
Tourism. They became extremely wealthy, right? I'm not sure if you've taken Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world. So their airport, Dubai Airport, is the busiest in the world. And Dubai, for the longest time, was flourishing under American protection. And Dubai said to the world, listen, we're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We don't want any involvement in any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money.
I'm happy to have you on. I want you to come on and talk for a few minutes and ask you some of these questions and just talk about what it seems like you've been here for a minute. So I'll send you a link. I'll send it on your Discord and let's chat a little bit about. So give some insight on if you've been here watching. Talk to me about this today and what I've talked about. We'll do a few minutes, 10, 20 minutes.
Money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked the GCC, okay? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, they attacked these places. And these places were like, what's going on? We're neutral, man. We're not involved in this.
What's up, bro?
What up?
Thanks for joining.
No, of course.
So what's going on? How long you been watching?
I've been in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I still got it on YouTube, so I'm hearing the echo.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I don't hear it. Maybe they do, but
no, I've been in and out. I got a lot going on. I got something cooking up for tomorrow, so
okay.
Maybe Saturday. Depends how long I let it cook.
For sure. Yeah, man. It's just there's been a good stream, lots of good information going out, and it's important.
Yeah, every time I pop in, I'm seeing something else. It's all tying together. That's why I said, I'm like, did you talk about Life Touch? And then you're like, no, oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we'll have to get into it for sure. It's important. It all ties together, bro. Like I said, the finances, the surveillance, the apparatus, all the money. I mean, the history of the PNAC and rebuilding America's defenses and the clean break and when you know about it, like I know, and I've known about this and I've studied it and I've seen it, but it's time now. It's really time, to start going in on this.
I've been telling you.
Yeah. No, I've been, it's just.
I think we had to. I think it wasn't until we were able to swap some notes and see the other side, that it clicked for both of us, that hey, like there's something else going on, and we gotta prioritize things and try to make a difference before it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what else is going on is really just that people's attention, they don't want to see this stuff because it might take too much to take in and to understand. And it is a lot. Like, I crammed a lot into today, into yesterday, and it's 8 hours of content ultimately, but it tells you the history of the world and how we got to Iran. And all it takes is to sit down, listen, share, and show people, because that's ultimately what needs to happen. Is people need to see this content and understand. And once they see it, all the other shit will look like flowers. Like the TPUSA finance stuff to me is so unimportant compared to this. Now, Charlie Kirk's life and death situation, it's very important, but they're not giving us anything, and nobody wants to look into anything. How much do we have to scream at the top of our lungs? Millions of views, hundreds of millions of views on different channels for nothing to happen. But at least here we can prepare for something instead of reactive. This is at least trying to be proactive and also informative. This is how I see it.
Yeah, I've been saying too, I don't think that we should forget Charlie Kirk or the case in any sense, but I also feel like there has been more than enough that's come out now that there should be some sort of action and a call to action demanding a real investigation. And with everything that we're seeing now between the files, and now we're literally at war, it's like we have to start putting some things aside and really pay attention to what's going on, because there are decisions being made every single day, and now we're losing American lives, and tax dollars are getting spent, and the entire world is changing, and it is going to affect us. It is going to affect our kids, our grandkids, and it really can affect the overall sovereignty of the American people. And people really need to realize this. They need to understand just how serious this is, and that there also is a chance that we could be occupied to some degree. Or even that could just be a little magician trick. Like there's so much misdirection going on right now. It's hard to really know for sure what and who to believe. And I'm just working hard. I've been spending a lot of time in front of the camera, but now I'm trying to just take a step back and just go over everything I have and do some more research. And I want to make sure that anything I say, especially from this point on, is going to be accurate.
Yeah, accuracy is important. You know what I mean? It's receipts. That's why I drive the content the way I do, and I create it the way I do. I want something that's compelling, something that's educational, something that's receipts driven, that I can pull on the screen and say, hey, this is what happened. Not, I think this happened and this could happen, and there's like 4 different scenarios for what might have happened, and it's probably none of them. Like, I can't operate in that realm when I'm trying to spread truth and information. You know what I mean? That can make a difference in the life. And I'm not shitting on anybody else. I'm just saying, like, for me and the way I need to move forward to continue growing in this space without isolating myself into one specific conversation, that's an echo chamber. The TPUSA stuff is an echo chamber, and there's 2 people that get all the views. You know what I mean? So I'd rather let them do their thing, and I'll follow the investigation, and I will continue to add where I feel fit to add. But there's so much more that I can contribute to, and that's where I'm at now.
And even, I agree with you 100%. And even aside from who's getting the views, there are people that aren't getting the views that are also doing really good work.
I don't mean
I
about,
think
it's not about the views.
Yeah, no, I know.
I just mean that in
but there
general,
are a lot of people that are doing the work.
They've got it on lock. You know what I mean? So it's like what Barron says. He's like, they're doing that part of the investigation, and they've got it on lock, and I'm going to focus on this. So that's kind of how I feel in general right now for myself. And I'll probably find things that I want to talk more about. But right now, this is world-changing stuff, man. And for me, as a really good researcher, not to clout, but just the fact is, as if you've seen this channel, I'm able to find the best information with receipts. And I'm doing myself and you and the audience that watches and subscribe to this channel a disservice if I don't put those good tools and research capabilities to use.
I couldn't agree with you more, buddy. And I'm reading some of the comments in the chat. I really liked the word where it said, who was it? I saw it. I forgot the name. It started with a B. But somebody said something about pray for accurate discernment, and I think that that is 100% correct. I see people talking about the Bible, and I think that that's a very good idea. And if any of you guys do your own research and you use AI, something that I did that was very life-changing for me and really helped me find Jesus is when you start cross-referencing AI, when you use AI to cross-reference the scripture of different religions against each other and then run it against history, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. And that's one of the things that I'm working on right now, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. That might even be a group stream too. I might save that for a Saturday. Thanks. I know I want you in there because you and me had similar conversations about finding our faith.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when people police us. Isn't that great?
Probably talking to me. Sorry.
No, I did it to you too.
It's all right. It's all right.
Karen's in the chat. I'm just kidding. I'm just
great.
Around.
That's a loyal
I'm just
one
messing
too.
around. I know. I'm just messing. They know I'm just messing with them. It's true because you're talking over and stuff. But yeah, so anyways, and I'm just kidding. And like, I'm just totally messing around. I don't like it when people tell, because it's like, I would not, because I don't see myself doing that, but I'm not everybody else. So it's like, whatever. I don't care. But at the same time, I see it all the time. That's the only reason why I mention it. But I know you're chill, so it's all good.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I mean, we could be a little more transparent than that. I've actually told Danks, I'm like, yo, if we're ever in a live with multiple people and I'm talking over people, like, yo, it's like you can't kick me out of the table. Just tell me shut the fuck up. Like,
I've done it.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm like, oh shit, thanks. You know what it is? I get things, I start thinking about all this and realizing like the camera's on, the lights are on, everybody's listening, and there is just so much that I want to share with you guys. I couldn't do it in a stream. I couldn't do it in a day. And, I mean, that's why I'm doing this though. And that's why I'm trying to work with people like Danks and Kelly and, some other people. And we're trying to get it out there, and we're trying to get it out there right.
I don't mind. Okay. So first, Renita, if you want to join the Discord, Baze is there. I'm there. My community's there. We all use AI. I teach a lot of them how to use AI, and I have prompts that can help actually shape your AI however you want. It's just $5. You can come join, or you can join the members only lives on Fridays. I think you're a member. So tomorrow, if you want to ask me if you're there, I can definitely remind me of that, and I can help you. Someone was asking about Shay's, his channel. I'm not sure. Baze, it's Real Baze is his channel, which is right here. Let's see if I can pull it up. You guys got to check him out. He does more commentary and reaction content, which is great. Much different than what I do. Right here. So you check him out at Real Baze. I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing a lot of the reactionary content just because it's like I've been doing a lot of research, and like the content that I'm trying to make where I'm doing research, I don't want to just put out there yet. So it's like I'll spend time researching and working on one thing, and then I'll literally just like react to the stuff I'm going to watch anyway, just to get some more content out and try to like grow the channel. But I have some very, very different and interesting content coming your way very soon. That's why I'm actually not going to be doing the reactionary content for the next couple of days. The next video that I do is going to be something very different and very special. And I think you guys are all going to appreciate it. Oh, Danks disappeared on me real quick.
I had to get the dogs back in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this is important content. I look forward to seeing what you got going on. We are going to continuously be unloading the truth. Nice to see Harry Headlines reposted the stream. Finally, we got a repost on X. Love to see it. Make sure you're sharing this on X, on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely some of the most important content I'll ever make. And I'm just getting started. So
thank you guys. I see you in the comments. I appreciate the subs. Just make sure you put the notify on though, because everybody tells me they don't get notified from my lives.
This one said, Renita, first thing with AI is to only use Claude, scrap everything else. Pax.
Yeah, I got to start using Claude. I came up on ChatGPT. Now with everything going on with it, I definitely want to stop using it, but I had mine fine-tuned for a little bit. Huh?
I get it, because you have it all built together.
Yeah, I had mine tweaked a different way. My ChatGPT isn't the same as everybody else's ChatGPT.
Yeah, but Claude will just it'll be so much easier. You just get your ChatGPT to prompt itself over to just create a Claude prompt, a few of them, and then load it into your memories.
Yeah, that actually probably would work. Yeah, the sensitivity guardrails are a lot lower on Claude?
Yeah, for me it is. I mean, I get anything I need. You know what I mean?
All right, that's good.
Hype in the chat if you can. Hype in the chat for our dudes. I think you can after, or if you can during, that'd be great. Make sure you do hype after this is over and it processes, I think. And then I'm going to actually take this stream and cut out the last 2 hours and just put, or an hour and a half, and put the core of the information. I'm going to create like a 20 to, every night after the live streams are done, I'm going to be releasing shorter versions that are like just clipped. That has the
I was doing that. I gotta catch up because I've been bullshitting with my chats a lot the last couple of videos. So I'm probably not going to be putting out anything new for the next, like, I want to get something out tomorrow, but it might not make it till Saturday. But I'll at least edit some of the other stuff and put out cleaner versions of the last 3 days. But thanks. I love you, buddy. I hate to cut you short, but I want to get back to work.
No, you're good.
I just want to pop up and say hello. And thank you, everybody, for having me. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and you will hear from me soon. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Thanks, bro. Yep. I'll see everybody else later. Appreciate you for sticking around. Thanks for all the love and the support. Please remember to like and share. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. And we're going to be doing more of this. Tomorrow, we've got the members only live stream. So what I think I'll be doing is actually loading this live stream short version, like the 30, 45-minute version. It'll go out tomorrow. So it'll feed the views for tomorrow and keep the algorithm going. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the members only live. It's, again, only 99 cents. So if you want to come hang with the Danksters and Dankettes, that's where you want to be. If you want to join the research, join on Patreon. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you all. God bless.